Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
McCarthy out of the shotgun, milking a 3-point lead. It is a run-pass option. McCarthy takes off to the right, to the 10. Stutter steps at the 5. Touchdown! He's J.J. McCarthy.
Thank you to the Vikings radio network, and it was going all types of bad for J.J. McCarthy up until the fourth quarter when he turned it on. That was the third of 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, 21 unanswered points by the Vikings. They stole one from Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the Chicago Bears. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We have a lot of time to unpack the Vikings here and some very good and also some not so good from J.J. McCarthy, as you would expect in his his second year, but his debut in the NFL.
Dude just wins, Maggie. Can't argue with the W's.
Yeah, I guess so. So we'll put him to the side for a second. But Caleb Williams, outside of the first drive, Pearl, which looked really good, there were moments, but man, not enough of them considering the amount of hype and excitement around Caleb in his Bears' second season debut.
Okay, there's a lot to sort of break apart here. Was it Caleb? Was it Brian Flores and that Vikings defense just starting to tee off on that offensive line? I think it's the second thing.
Okay.
He just did not. Well, first
Vikings
of all,
win, by the way, 27-24, if I didn't mention that.
He was not perfect. There's no doubt about it. But he was starting to get hit so much. And I think that affected his ability to sort of be poised in the pocket. And he missed some open wide receivers. But, I mean, come on. He was getting all the credit in the world to the Vikings defense. They started out, they were not getting to him at all, especially the first drive. And then Brian Flores added one rusher here. And then Brian Flores had a blitz coming from here. By the fourth quarter, well, actually, before the final drive, Caleb Williams did not know where the pass rush was coming from. And I'm going to give some credit to the Vikings defense and the Bears offensive line. This revamped offensive line that they were bragging about fell apart a little bit. And they could not run the ball. They had a lead. They should have been able to use the run game to press on the Vikings and extend that lead, and they could not. So I'm not all on Caleb. He was not perfect. He did not see the field perfectly, but it was also the O-line fell apart.
Yeah, not that impressed by the Bears, quite frankly. Again, like some things for Caleb to build on, no doubt, but he's like this amazing talent. You can see it. He's sailing on guys, and I wasn't that impressed with Ben Johnson in his debut. I thought he made some really crucial mistakes. We talked about this before he started. It was like, I know you love him, Pearl. You want to fit him for the gold jacket already. But, you know, it felt like some rookie head coach mistakes that were made out there.
Like what? Because he goes for on a fourth down? That's the Lions.
That's Dan Campbell light, but you're not Dan Campbell. And
he's the one who actually, no, he is the innovator of the fourth down strategy as much as Dan Campbell. All the reports are that was him.
Okay, well, you made the wrong decision because in the game you're in, which is a low-scoring game in the first half where you've got J.J. McCarthy kind of, not sure what he's looking at out there. It's not like, you can already tell the defenses in this game we're going to be ahead of the offenses a bit. And you're right here in field goal position instead of a fourth and 3 in the first half. Just take the points, man. Like, just coach the game you're in. Don't coach a video game. Don't coach a philosophy on a piece of paper. This is what Dan Campbell got crushed for in a much bigger game, in the NFC Championship game against San Francisco. I felt like I saw shades of that.
What are you at, 1980? Are you Jim, what's his name, Hannafin? Like, this is not 1986. You go for it on 4th and 3, Maggie. This is how, it's called analytics. And by the way, he wimped out and he kicked a field goal the next time.
And they missed.
And you know what? No. He hit the next one. He brought out Caleb and then he pulled him back and put out the kicker. But
they missed
that missed
later
field goal,
on
by the way, and special teams, do not underestimate the impact. That missed field goal took the wind out of the Bears' sails. I mean, Ben Johnson looked like he was going to cry.
Okay.
I will give you that. That missed field goal was awful. So I think they're going to be aggressive again. Yeah, it's not the Lions.
But let's talk about the missed field goal for a second, because what happened on that drive? That was a promising drive, and it ended up getting totally derailed by what? Penalties. Penalties are still the story yesterday. Yeah. So, like, a lot of the things I believe that Ben Johnson wanted to come in and clean up have not gotten cleaned up yet, is what I'm saying.
Oh, that's a stretch to say the penalties. First of all, it's a Bears offensive line, which has been terrible for a long, long time. And you're blaming Ben Johnson for that. I do have a look. It's a
12 penalties for 127 yards last night.
I'm not a huge DeAndre Swift guy. I feel like there's a reason that teams let go of DeAndre Swift. I thought that the Bears had the lead and they needed to run it down Minnesota's throat. But Minnesota, man, they are stacked on defense. So, I mean, the Bears lost 27-24. To make that a judgment on Ben Johnson, to me, it's way too early.
He had an 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter. I'm definitely making that a judgment on Ben Johnson. See,
really?
That's the thing.
Why?
Because
it's his first game.
I know. Well, but are we grading on a curve now? The guy came in and said, I can't wait to beat, Matt LaFleur, calling out the Green Bay Packers.
Dude, he's 0-1.
I'm just saying, you look at that game, when you have a lead like that, the defense, who's got a lot of injuries, were playing well. The pick 6 on J.J. McCarthy. Like, you had McCarthy out there kind of seeing ghosts, like, to borrow a little from Sam Darnold, when he said that about Bill Belichick. Like, you had an advantage that it felt like you just gave back to the Vikings. Now, maybe I'm not giving the Vikings enough credit, but for the offensive innovator that we expect Ben Johnson to be, where were the easy ones for Caleb? Where were the gimmies? Because Justin Jefferson, was like, momentum's real. The Vikings wide receiver. And he's like, and once I caught that touchdown and things started going, like, Ben Johnson, I felt like, was not helping Caleb Williams in trying to reestablish their momentum. Get a couple easy ones, get in a rhythm a little bit, and that never happened. So I think there was just a lot there for both guys, quite frankly, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, where this was being touted as like, we talked to Kyle Brandt last week, noted Bears fan, Good Morning Football. It's like, we finally have the cool coach. We finally have the cool guys, and we're expecting a lot from the offense. And I thought it fell flat in the first game. Clearly it did.
I don't know. I feel like you made a judgment on Ben Johnson. I honestly think you came into that game with a judgment on Ben Johnson and that missed field goal.
No, bro, they have 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter. How is the coach not wearing that?
Because the Vikings' offensive line started to win the battles. I mean, we all saw it. I mean, listen, the offense was not good. Caleb is clearly not totally comfortable. But it's his first game, and this is hopefully for them, a 3 or 4 year process. I don't think anyone expects the Bears to be there yet. Caleb Williams, is he 24 right now? He's young. He never played a game on Ben Johnson's offense. It's his first. He's 23. His first game, and you say there were no easy throws. How about when DJ Moore was wide open and Caleb was just about a minute late to it? There were guys. My concern is not Ben Johnson. My concern is Caleb Williams. That's a guy who we have to be talking about. That's a guy who we were watching. That's a guy under the microscope.
What are you concerned about with him?
That he's not seeing the field perfectly.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I mean, and also, I noted this. I actually tweeted this in the preseason. He has trouble letting it rip. Like, he definitely holds on the ball at key times. Sometimes that happens to quarterbacks. And you know what? It happened to Daniel Jones in New York a lot forever. And then Daniel Jones turned it around apparently after week 1.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's early. But some quarterbacks just, the best quarterbacks know where they're going before the play, see it, let it rip. Caleb, for some reason, and you saw it last night, will hold on to the ball. Like he's just looking for something a little better or he's not totally comfortable.
Right. So is this actually a good marriage then between him and Ben Johnson? Because that was the whole thing about Detroit was Jared Goff get the ball out on time and, and Goff looked a little different without Ben Johnson against the Packers. I'll give you that. But, is this always going to be square peg, round hole or oil and water or whatever you want to say?
Well, also, too, this is not just on Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. The Ty Dunn article that questioned Caleb Williams' character that on Go Long.
It's a Substack.
Yeah. So they had a lot of questions about Caleb Williams' work ethic, his mentality, his coachability. It also had a lot of questions about Bears GM Ryan Poles. And you know what thought came to my mind last night?
What's up?
Why did they draft a tight end at number 10?
They already had a tight end.
They already had a tight end who made the catch of the night, Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, I'm like, I'm not sure this team is built perfectly. And you have a great question. Is Caleb Williams a match with Ben Johnson? If it ever came down to who are you keeping long term, I'd imagine it'd be Caleb, but I'm not sure because Ben Johnson was the prize choice of the offseason. I mean, Ben Johnson's script looked pretty good in the first 15 calls. You got to give him that, like kind of Andy Reid-like.
Yeah, sure. And then what happened? And then the fourth quarter happened, which is, I think, and that's like, not to like be oversimplify it, but isn't the fourth quarter where you want your coaches like to have like to be able to see the game you're in? Like I thought Kevin O'Connell showed that he's obviously got a lot more experience as a head coach. yesterday. Now, J.J. McCarthy made a couple throws that were unreal, hitting Justin Jefferson in traffic in the end zone. I was like, were his eyes closed on that one? Did he just throw it up and get lucky? But then he dropped one in the bucket to Aaron Jones, which looked really pretty. And then obviously he runs one in on a design run that looked like a beautiful Bears defense bit on that super hard. And again, that was the third touchdown of the fourth quarter. But it just looked like they got outcoached, outclassed, out everything in the fourth quarter. The fact the final score was only a 3-point game, like that would have been, they mismanaged the end of the game, partly because they didn't have timeouts and partly because you saw Kevin O'Connell, I thought, put on a bit of a clinic in that fourth quarter.
I feel like I saw something different. I just saw the Vikings defensive line just started destroying the Bears. Like by the way, that was not on Caleb, but Caleb got blown up. I mean, how many times did Caleb get hit hard?
Yeah.
And then Caleb started to see the rush and kind of was a little inconsistent because of that. And also then Jordan Mason started to run. The Vikings offensive line, who was terrible earlier in the game, they were a mess with Christian Darrisaw out. They started to lean on the Bears offensive line. So to me, I look at coaching, I'm like, who's the best first 15 play caller? Andy Reid, who's the best coach in the game. I think it's not just the fourth quarter. Like that was a physical battle, and the Vikings won the physical battle, which is not a surprise because they won all of them last year in one-score games. They're amazing in one-score games, but I thought like Caleb was getting hit a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so...
And I'll give Brian Flores a lot of credit for that, too, by the way, the defensive coordinator of the Vikings.
Yeah, he's excellent. Are you buying or selling your Caleb stock right now? I know it's only week one. We understand that. But what you saw, does this seem like maybe not a perfect fit here between Caleb and Ben Johnson? And you mentioned the Ty Dunn article, which I'm not expecting that everyone in the country, read this because, again, it's behind a paywall and all of that. But it does call into question, how Caleb was treating the coaches last year. It calls into question, what kind of attitude he brings to the team. Now, we have a long way to go, and maybe this puts a chip on his shoulder, but it certainly was not flattering. And you always had to wonder if the season starts off a little rough, like last night when you have an 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter and you lose at home and you're on a night when you're honoring the 85 Bears, that's not ideal. Do people start to, it's week one, so I'm not going to overstate it, but do you start pointing fingers? Do you start losing confidence? Does Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, they have to be together on this no matter what? And it could be some adversity here to start the season. I would think,
let's give it 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks here.
Yeah, I'm not writing it off yet.
Yeah.
Just saying, this
I
is
would say
always a question.
Around Thanksgiving, you start to evaluate this marriage, to be totally honest.
Right when Eberflus got fired.
It's going to take a lot of time. Caleb Williams is learning this brand new offense. He had Shane Waldron as his coordinator last year, right? I think it's a totally different system. And Ben Johnson runs a very complicated offense. They mentioned that last night.
Yep.
It is not easy. So maybe Caleb Williams gets a lot more comfortable. Maybe give it a month. The thing about the Bears, there's not a ton of pressure to be great this year. I think they need to show, we argued about this all offseason, they need to show quarterback improvement. They need to get their quarterback to 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
Maggie, the franchise needs to 4,000 yards. So we had 210 last night. Can someone over there do the math? If you prorate that by 17, does that get us to 4,000? I'm going to say off the top of my head, no. 17 times 210 times 17. Go, Manny. You're young. Hit us.
Someone with a calculator, 10. Do something.
What were the numbers again?
Yeah, we'll get those to you. Also, the 70% completion percentage. These lofty expectations that
That's
the Bears
4,000
have been putting on themselves. I know our own Andrew Kaplan in the chat is just Bears will never have a good quarterback. That I don't want to believe that the history is just going to repeat itself because the Bears, to their credit, are trying to do everything they can to turn that upside down. You had the number one overall pick. You have Caleb Williams, who was the Heisman Trophy winner, generational talent, and you did get the fancy offensive coordinator. You got the creative guy. You got the dude.
And you drafted a tight end in the top 10, and you drafted the year before a wide receiver at number 9 who looks good at Rome Odunze, and you paid up for your offensive line. You're right. They can't personnel-wise. But, that
Still
article.
Felt like they were missing a piece.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Ryan Poles he's put a microscope on him, too. A lot of things he's done have not worked out in Chicago.
Well, and that would be so Bears, would it not, to do if things do go off the rails this year, they don't hit internal expectations, whatever that is, to fire one guy and keep the other.
Yeah.
This should be known as like the Chicago special. You fire the GM who hired the coach, then you keep the coach, you hire a new GM, and then they fire the coach, and then the GM is there, and then you're always on a competing timeline.
Yeah, I mean, to your credit, that you knew something was wrong when this whole system, it's got to be the whole building is cohesive. So maybe it's not Caleb Williams, maybe it's not Ben Johnson, maybe it's that building is not on the same page. Again, week one, we'll see. They did go 10 drives without scoring. They lost that game in the first half by far, like when they had to really take a lead on Minnesota. And I'm watching the game, I'm like, this is a domination. Then it's like 7-3. What happened? They had to score so many more points early, and they just could not quite do it.
Oh, how about in the third quarter? I mean, it starts off for the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy throwing a pick six.
Yes.
And then he gets the ball back, and you're like, all right, well, you just threw a pick six. It's 17-6 now. You got that 11-point lead. Let's see how he follows up 3 and out. Like, that's when the Bears had to pounce. But instead, they go on a 5-play, 23-yard drive and end up punting. I mean, there was just nothing there.
Yeah, they and also Caleb Williams started to get hit. So that's where your run game comes in, Maggie. That's where Ben Johnson's used to handing it to David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. It was not there for the Bears last night. That's a combination of the running back and the line. That worries me much more than Caleb Williams.
The chat beat you to it, Manny.
Well, you guys kept yapping. I was trying to get
I
a
have
word
not
in.
looked at my calculator. I think I know it.
Go ahead. Me and my giant brain have made the calculation.
210 times 17.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I did.
I'm out.
3,570.
Oh, I had it in my head. Okay. So he's got to get to 4,000 yards. Like, we should
Says
do.
who, though? Like, win games. See, that's the thing where you and I are never going to agree on this. Ben
Maggie.
Johnson, 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Who cares about your stats? Win the game.
No. That's totally irrelevant here. The Chicago Bears started playing football in 1923 against the Staleys.
Damn.
They have not had a 4,000-yard passer in 100 years. If they do not get a guy to 4,000, I am going to go there and blow up the old Soldier Field myself. Which, by the way, an indoor stadium there, oh, God, that's gross. Did you guys see that report that they're moving the stadium to Arlington Heights and making it indoor?
I like it.
Indubitably.
You like it?
I do.
Yeah, me too. EJ and I are on the same page. Football weather.
Yeah, I guess.
old
Are you guys
concept.
more like paddleball fans or like what? I don't understand. Like you want to see football indoors in Chicago?
You want a 4,000-yard passer, but you want them to be playing in sub-temperatures in December.
in the
did you
windy
see-
city.
Oh, okay. Look across the division. There are plenty of 4,000-yard passers in Green Bay.
I think the wind's not as bad there.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. No. It's lovely in Lambeau. It's yeah.
It's balmy.
As the only person who has spent time in Green Bay here, I didn't do it during the winter. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know anything
I was
about
gonna
Green Bay
say,
in the
Manny,
wintertime.
you live there in the summer.
Best time of the year.
Yeah, it was
Cheating.
beautiful in the summer. My God.
Wait. Put
So
that
is
up as well.
everywhere.
So you guys are pro indoor. I do want a Super Bowl there. That'd be fun.
All
But
stadiums should have roofs.
I
oh
agree.
my God. All right, that's great. Like, are we all going to get? Is this a football show or are we going to go get Manny Petties at the break? Like, what's
Is that
happening
possible?
here? Is this
Maggie's in.
Is this an? I don't even understand what we're talking about here.
Two of the other teams in the division have a dome.
Yeah, and it's terrible. Like Minnesota can't win a Super Bowl because they're such wimps
They
that
can
they
host
play
one,
indoors.
though. They can host one, though.
Yeah,
That's
they
true.
did host
That
one.
was lovely.
I spent
But,
a lot of time in the Mall
Detroit
of
hosted
America.
one too.
I'm sorry.
Super Bowl 40.
I'm looking at the Super Bowl winners and how many dome teams are winning Super Bowls? Like
Don't you
2
love
out of
Sean
30.
Don't you love Sean McVay? The Rams play in a dome. There's so many teams that the Rams have won 2 Super Bowls coming out of a dome.
St.
The
Louis
problem with
Rams.
playing outdoors is you have all those rings on your fingers and it weighs you down in New England and Kansas City and Philadelphia is now. You have to play outdoors.
God.
See how you threw in
You see, he had to
Philadelphia?
throw in
See,
It's not even Philadelphia. It's KC and New England.
You could have ran
Cold
to the
weather teams.
Niners. You could have went to so many teams before you got to Philly.
Cold weather teams dominate the NFL playoffs. That is a well-known fact
why
because you
Aaron
get all these
Rodgers-
indoor wimpy quarterbacks.
Aaron Rodgers has 1 Super Bowl. And Brett Favre has 1 Super Bowl.
That town is called Title Town, dude.
Yeah, from the 60s, not from what those guys did.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So the Bears' new stadium, lower on the list of priorities today. Right on the front burner, Caleb Williams.
They're kind of tied together. Because if
think
they need
Caleb's
to
gonna
get
be
Caleb
there?
Williams on track, they have to put a roof over his head, is what you guys are saying? That's how desperate Chicago is?
I mean, would you be stunned if Caleb's still the quarterback by the time that stadium gets built?
No. I think it's possible. I mean, there's enough there that you think he could sign a second contract. Like, we're not giving up on Caleb Williams.
I'm not convinced in a second contract that stadium's going to be built. It's Illinois.
Well, it's like 2031 or
Illinois
something.
politics. I'm not convinced that.
Yeah, fair. All cities, but yeah. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Buying or selling on Caleb Williams. And is this going to be square peg, round hole with the head coach and the QB? On the flip side, J.J. McCarthy, not good through 3 quarters, then turns it up in the 4th, and Minnesota walks out with a W. Again, 888-710-4ISN. Phone lines open for you. Welcome into the chat. YouTube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, Twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network. And also, if you have leftover stuff from the weekend that you want to get off your chest today, we've got plenty more for you from what we saw, including some injury report stuff, especially with the 49ers already being hit significantly with the injury bug. So we'll get you up to speed on all things 49ers as well. It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
The Bears.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Perloff Show. Ton going on after last night's 27-24 Vikings win over the Bears. Are you buying or selling on Caleb Williams? I also just want to kind of get into it, too. Like, what the heck is wrong with you guys? You want a dome stadium. Do you care about NFL history? EJ, you're a big NFL Films fan. Maggie, you're a Buffalo Bills fan, and you want to put a dome in Chicago, and you want a dome in Buffalo,
I
too, don't
do.
you?
Yesterday, please. I mean, they keep showing these aerial shots, and they're like, 70% of the Buffalo Stadium is going to be covered. It's like, guys, that could have been 100%. Just go all the way.
Kathy Hochul didn't have enough funding.
But, you know, here's the thing about last night, about Caleb Williams. I think it's got to also be, it's about Caleb because he's the star, right? And he's the one who was promised in a lot of ways. Maybe we're throwing around generational talent a little too much. But listen, he's got the bona fides. Like, he won the Heisman. It looked great.
He's not Harry Potter, Maggie.
Is that where I got that from? Maybe. But it's also about him and Ben Johnson. Because we knew Eberflus was going to be a disaster, right? Like, that was not going to work. And that was a defensive head coach. And not that you need to be an offensive head coach with a generational quarterback, but certainly can help. And I just feel like these two guys, I don't know about this.
This
like
is
Jared,
one game.
It's one game, I know. But again, it's an 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter at home where your defense is playing well and you came up with bubkiss. Like, we got nothing.
How about,
you got a late touchdown.
I mean, just for me, I can't get excited about 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter after I watch a 15-point lead with 4 minutes left of the game on Sunday night. The funny thing too is, like, this is another great comeback, and it wasn't even that close. Like, they got up to the point where then Chicago had to try and mount a comeback. So yeah, I know it was an 11-point lead, but the game didn't really play out exactly like that. The Bears offense just got stuck in mud. There's no doubt about it. There was a lot going on, though. I don't want to point at the coaching or Caleb Williams. I think the line got destroyed. I think Brian Flores did a masterclass on pass rush on a young quarterback. Caleb Williams is 23, Maggie. So that happens.
Here's Caleb Williams on losing his accuracy in the fourth quarter.
I think that just happens sometimes in games and in moments. Just got to reel it back in and go out there and execute. I think we did that on that last drive, or second to last drive that we had.
See, here's the thing about the Bears, that they're going to find themselves in a lot of these really close games. And because they're not good enough on offense or good enough on defense to be like blowing teams out or anything like that, at least not yet. So we're talking about the fourth quarter. That's when these games come down to. This is Scott Hansen witching hour. You know, you talked about the Bills-Ravens game. Yeah, that was a game that was won and lost in the final 4 minutes. Like, the NFL's like that.
But this wasn't, to me, this was not strategy. This was about big guys pushing each other around, as you famously said about offensive line.
Yeah.
The Vikings defensive line took over the game. I mean, they were, even when Caleb Williams had that final drive, credit to him, he got blown up and somehow found DJ Moore, who then got blown up.
Yep.
Like, the Vikings started going downhill on defense, and honestly, like Brian Flores should be a head coach. He is very, very good, the Vikings defense coordinator. And there's no crime in being in close games. The Vikings are in all close games, and they won 14 games last year. I just think this is going to be a work in progress because Caleb Williams has not run this offense. A lot of these guys have not. Colson Loveland is new. Roma Dunze is in his second year. Like you normally, I think we're putting the cart before the horse. It's way too early to decide anything about how Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams fit together.
Okay, that's fine, but I don't want to do this is some kind of warm-up year when Caleb Williams came out and said, I'm throwing for 4,000 yards and 70% completion percentage.
Yeah, 4,000 yards, that'd make him like the 16th leading passer in the NFL. That's not, he better, I'm telling you right now, if I'm a Chicago fan and my quarterback does not get the 4,000 yards, if he stays healthy and ends up at like 3,300, then we're in huge trouble. To me.
Okay, so to pretend like this year, like there's no stakes, no pressure, that's just not true.
That's the pressure. To be at least a medium level, that's the pressure. Not to go 11-6.
Well, I mean, look at the defenses now in the NFC, and look at the defenses in the NFC North. The Packers' defense looks as good as anybody. It's going to be a challenge.
Well, I mean, the Lions' defense does not look good.
Well, we'll see.
So, yeah, the Vikings' defense looks good. So, yeah, they're going to be easier defenses down the road. They have the Saints on their schedule. They have the Ravens' defense looked awful. They're going to get them on their schedule. Sorry. Just kind of a shot at your Bills there.
Well, but that's fine. But they're going to be a 6-point underdog in that game.
Like, they have a lot of more manageable defenses. You're right. Green Bay's defense and Minnesota's defense look awesome, but they're going to win close games. And it's going to get colder later in the season. We'll see where they are. Maybe they challenge for a wild card spot, but I really don't care. I just want to see Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams get on the same page. And I agree with you. They were not last night. They were early, and then it fell apart.
I'm telling you, I'm looking at the schedule for the Chicago Bears, and yeah, you want to point out the Saints, and that's fine. But I thought Dallas's defense looked good against your Eagles last week. I thought.
Wait. It was 24-20, and the Eagles had not been stopped until the rain delay.
I thought that Pittsburgh, we'll see what happens with their defense. That was week 1. I think they could get a little bit more stout.
Again,
Cleveland's defense looked good. San Francisco's defense. I mean, they got a couple tough ones on the schedule.
The Pittsburgh Steelers defense led up 32 points to the New York Jets. The New York Jets have not scored 32 points since Chad Pennington's second comeback of the year player award.
Not inaccurate.
And the Dallas Cowboys pass rush was so lame, I don't even know how to measure that. Like that, you can't possibly say those were two good defensive performances. Yeah, you're right. Traditionally, going back to the 70s, those are good defenses, but 2025, we'll see. Yeah, you are right about the NFC North. All of a sudden, with all those quarterbacks, you'd think it'd be an offensive division, but man, I know you're in love with the Packers defense.
Oh, I know. I rewatched that game last night. That Packers defense is unreal. Sorry about that, Cowboys fans. But Michael Parsons, he made an even bigger impact than I originally thought on first watch.
That's what happens when you draft defense 14 years in a row. Eventually, you're going to find some good players.
You hope so. Let's get to Andrew Bogusch, who's got headlines. We're asking, are you buying and selling on Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson as a tandem, or just Caleb Williams in general? What's up, folks?
Guys, good morning. Your headlines are sponsored by PrizePicks. Don't miss any of the action this football season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Download PrizePicks and use code PRIMETIME. You can run. And get a $50 bonus credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details. The internet was not being kind to J.J. McCarthy right about now.
Crowd is making a difference. Wants the snap, gets it. Full house blitz, throwing out to the left. It's picked up. Down the sideline right. To the 40-yard line. He is history, baby. Leaving the Vikings, the taillights into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown Bears.
Jeff Joniak on Bears radio to Sean Wright with a 74-yard pick six of McCarthy. He and the Vikings in a 17-6 third quarter hole in his delayed debut. His doubters loud on social media. But those messages did not age well, with J.J. recovering to produce 21 fourth quarter points, 2 touchdown passes, 1 running, and the Vikings steal a 27-24 win from the Bears in Chicago on Monday Night Football.
We're so blessed to be able to play this game, so every snap we get is a complete blessing. And, that's something that I was mentioning to the guys in the huddle when we were down. Like, where else would you rather be?
I'd rather be at the beach, if we're being honest, than throwing pick sixes and losing on national TV, but...
By the way, can we talk about the delay of games? Like, what was going on with the play clock for half the game for J.J. McCarthy?
Or begging for the snap?
Yeah. Wait, what is that? He was clapping like a seal
guy,
to give me the ball. And the center's like, nah, it's mine. Come grab it if you want it so bad. What was going on there?
Put your hand right here.
Yeah, walk up, put your hands under my...
Yeah, that's, by the way, a huge change of the game that they figured out how to snap the ball.
That's when things really took off for them.
Yeah.
When they snapped it on time.
Yeah, and then they would have a delay of game, and then you would see them get to the line. There'd be 4 seconds left on the clock after the delay of game. I'm like, you just had a dead ball. That was weird.
This feels like a Key and Peele skit with the crazy names and the center that won't snap the ball to the quarterback.
Hingle McCringleberry, Penn State University.
It sounded loud there. I think that was...
Yeah, Troy Aikman said in the third quarter he thought it was as loud as it's ever been in Chicago.
Well, that makes some sense.
There are expectations this year.
Come on, Daddy.
They were the crowd booed when the clock went final.
I mean, they were booing earlier than that. I mean, when J.J. put them up 2 scores, they were booing. When they lost the possession, they were booing. It got ugly there kind of fast.
Bears QB Caleb Williams, the reverse of McCarthy, kind of starting well, then fading an opening drive TD, then just 3 points on 9 drives. He finished with 268 yards of offense, 1 passing TD, 1 rushing. Ben Johnson tries to explain.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at exactly where those incompletions came in, but it certainly felt like it dried up a little bit, and probably a credit to Flores and the Vikings as well.
Meanwhile, new coach, same problem for these Bears. They've now dropped 16 of 19 against the NFC North.
Sounding like the Giants.
Unconfirmed reports that the guy who slapped DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson during Sunday Night Football is from Binghamton. Either way, he
Would not be shocked.
now banned indefinitely from all NFL stadiums.
Go Bills.
No word yet if the league will punish Lamar Jackson for shoving that fan in retaliation.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of groundswell to punish Lamar or DeAndre Hopkins. This is 100% on that fan.
Yeah, they came out and banned him first.
And they should. I mean, you can't touch the guys like that. You can, touch them if they're celebrating, but not the opponent hitting them in the head.
I still think that
You should not be able to shove a guy back, but I don't think he's going to get in trouble for it.
I think my guess would be whatever they're allowed to fine him for that, they'll fine him just because he still can't do that. I understand the fans need to be better, but he can't be reacting like that. So they probably need to just do something that reminds everybody that that's still wrong.
So like a $17,823 fine with 74 cents?
Yep, because everything is scheduled and an agreed upon amount, so it'll be some weird thing. It'll be a percentage of a game check, however they get to that number. But I would do just that to remind everyone that no matter what's going on around you, you're required as a player to walk away from those situations.
Yeah, I'm sorry. $17K is not really going to get the message across to someone who's making $55 million a year.
It's all for show.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if he had dragged the guy out and beat him to a bloody pulp, it still wouldn't be as bad as Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott, according to the internet. That was the ultimate football crime.
Hey, to be fair, when that Florida defensive lineman spit on the USF offensive lineman, the internet was similarly outraged. I need to see something bloody.
Guys have been spitting on each other on the football field for... What did I say that Green Bay Chicago game was last segment, Maggie?
1932.
Doesn't make it right.
1922. They've been spitting on each other.
I just feel like every time it happens, though, there is this outrage. It's not like we're saving it only for Jalen Carter. That one,
I think the level of outrage was higher because it was the opening game.
And the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, and it's Philly.
It was like the stupidity of it.
Yeah, but by the way, it's kind of leaning. They didn't suspend him yesterday, so it's getting late. I mean,
don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't think they're going
to. On Saturday.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
First of all, he had to miss the whole game. Are you going to suspend Dak too for that egregious spit in the direction?
Jalen Carter,
easy internet.
Philly.
Jalen Carter should be banned from the NFL.
The Giants will still score 9 points against the Eagles.
You got that right, brother. You got that right.
It's not going to help.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, it's Giants Philly this weekend.
No, it's Giants. Philly's KC, and then Giants Cowboys,
and then Giants KC, which is wonderful.
I had a caller in New York who was like, "Is there a chance Jalen Carter could be suspended for 5-6 weeks?" I'm like, "Why that specific number?" Like, oh, that's when the Giants play. I got you.
Yeah, it'd be awfully nice for Jackson Dart not have to see Jalen Carter.
EJ Stewart.
Funny you guys mention him because Jalen Carter and that dude from Florida, they could only run because Luis Suarez walked. The soccer bad boy.
Yeah.
He spat on a Seattle Sounders staff member after the League's Cup final 2 Sundays ago. MLS yesterday suspended Suarez for 3 matches. That's on top of his 6-match Leagues Cup ban.
Yeah, I mean, for him, though, spinning is not, I mean, he set the bar so high, right? He's the biter.
He's a biter,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so spinning,
I'm sorry.
We're actually, we're making progress.
Yeah, he's in the right direction. Eventually, he'll be well behaved.
6-game Leagues Cup suspension?
Yeah, whoever runs Leagues Cup suspended him for 6 of their games.
He's not even suspended for league play? Originally, he wasn't suspended for league play. He was suspended for Leagues Cup play?
Sure. I mean, the timing is what it is, but MLS made their decision yesterday.
Man, this is why
before
nobody
they played
takes soccer
again.
seriously here. Continue, man.
Wasn't that biting scandal like 35 years ago? How old is this guy?
He's 38 years old.
Okay.
I remember the handball, too.
Oh, yeah, the handball against Ghana in 2010 World Cup. Man, what a time.
Screw Ghana.
2010?
2010, man. Yeah, man.
Is that
15
South
years ago.
Africa?
South Africa,
This guy
yeah.
been a jerk for 15 years.
At least.
Probably more like 38.
It didn't start in 2010.
Is it safe to say he's the world's Jalen Carter?
He's Uruguay's Jalen Carter.
He bites. That's the thing.
He's like
with
a
him.
quarter of the size of Jalen Carter.
Yeah, you can fit 4 of him into Jalen Carter.
EJ, you said he's been a villain for 10 years. There was a biting incident when he was playing in the Dutch league before that. He's been a bad dude for I almost cuss. He's been a bad dude for quite some time.
Now I'm stuck on the Dutch league. Just thinking about them in wooden shoes.
By the way, the Jalen
soccer.
Carter thing, there's this animation that was created out of Philadelphia that recreates Jalen Carter talking to Big Dom as they're walking to the
Did
sideline.
they spit on each other?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that conversation, not about the great philosophers of our time, European history, farm subsidies. I don't think so.
That is 2 football men walking off the field after an incident. Like, apparently, our friend Kyle Brand, who was on the show last week, tweeted, like, they're not saying anything to each other. They're just walking together.
They're just making noises, probably.
Grunting.
Big Dom. You want to take me to a cheesesteak place at halftime?
Listen,
Please
is there
don't.
anyone here who does not want Jalen Carter on their team? Because I'll tell you right now,
I have
it feels
Dexter
good.
Lawrence. I'm good, baby.
Oh, yeah. You
Take
have
him in
the
a
only
second.
other good defensive tackle.
I got
You got Ed
actually.
Oliver.
Yeah, this is actually the one room where we're probably good.
Yeah,
other
that's
team,
true.
Yeah, but we got Quinnen, you got Ed Oliver. Yeah, we're good here.
But every great team needs one real trouble player, and that's the Eagles need that.
This is only the
attitude.
rules according to Perloff.
Yeah, yeah, I
Everyone
mean-
needs one felon.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like-
I mean, well, if you could stack more felons, then you'll probably win more Super Bowls.
Felons?
You watch the
maintain
nagging.
this.
You watch
Felons.
anyone watch the Cowboys documentary? What changed? Charles Haley came in, and everyone got afraid of the Cowboys. What was the great James Harrison?
Oh, no.
I mean, the New
Eli
England-
Manning and the
I can't even
Giants.
list. There's so many New England guys. Like, you have to draft bad character guys if you want a dynasty. That's Perloff rule number 1.
Yeah,
This
that
is-
Tom Brady guy. What a.
Yeah, well, New England, they do everything extra up
he
there.
did break that phone, so.
Yeah, by the way, I mean, look around him. Who was the second tight end in the Gronk combo?
Yeah, it's that again in New England. They always got to be better than everybody on everything.
I mean, the Bills. Maggie and I came up with one complaint after Hard Knocks. Like, wait, they are way too nice of a team. Everybody loves each other.
It's the Josh Allen effect.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Nice
you
guy
got
from
to be
Fireball.
a mean guy to win in the NFL. Like I think I would have no chance.
I was thinking about it yesterday.
Confirmed.
And that's the only reason. It has nothing to do with anything else. Physical stature, just grit.
Whatever. I could be Ben Johnson. That guy was like, he's like 6'1", like 175.
That's true. But did you win state championship in high school? They were going back into his history big time.
I could be Howie Roseman,
All right, buddy.
Eagles GM. No?
Sure.
But if you could have been, don't you think you would have been?
That's a bar.
Oh, that's
It's
a
like the line
shot.
from Facebook.
No, that's
If
a
you had
shot.
created Facebook, you would have created Facebook.
Yeah, Eduardo Saverin.
No, I still think I could have been a very good NFL GM. I disagree with
You have that
logic.
look. You have that look.
Yeah. You got to admit, the Howie Roseman got you guys all to stop in your tracks. Yeah,
We
I'm not
did.
going to be on the field. Don't get me wrong.
This guy is crunching numbers for the scouting staff.
Yeah, probably better off. Okay, Bogusch, thanks. We got to take a quick break. Coming up, we will get to the Niners injury report, which is a little troubling. We also have a concern level for the dynasty of our era. Maggie Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Wesley Financial. Stuck in a timeshare and want out? Contact Wesley Financial Group now and get a free timeshare exit information kit at wesleyfinancialgroup.com. Maggie Perloff Show. We get back to Monday Night Football in a moment. Vikings pull out a win on the road, 27-24. J.J. McCarthy a winner in his NFL debut. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson now under the microscope. Whether or not this is going to be a good fit. But quickly, we want to get to college football for a second because there was some questions, Pearl, about Arch Manning. So big rebound spot for Arch and the Longhorns against San Jose State University. They won 38-7. Started off a little dicey actually for Arch, but ends up, finding Parker Livingston. They have a great connection. But that's not really where the questions have bubbled up. There's been some video footage of Arch Manning's face as he's throwing the ball on the field, and it looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So Steve Sarkisian, the Longhorns head coach, was asked about whether Arch is injured. This happened yesterday.
Arch Manning seemed to be having some throwing pains by the
According to
fourth
who?
quarter. Arch.
Arch said that to you?
No.
Oh, according to who?
It just looked like he was.
He doesn't have any.
Is there an explanation to why it looked like that?
I don't know. I've never filmed any of you guys when you're using the bathroom, so I don't know what faces you make when you're doing that.
Wait, what? So, in some ways, cool comeback, I guess, by the coach, or maybe a little defensive.
Well, we all kind of get what he's saying, but not exactly, right? Like it's like 43% of the way there to a good analogy. So, by the way,
yeah,
I know. I wonder if somebody told Sark what. So I think this all started because Kurt Benkert, former NFL quarterback, former UVA quarterback, is a bit of a flamethrower on Twitter. It said that I can easily see that Arch's shoulder is hurt, and I think Sark word got to him about that, and he's PO'd because it's probably not true.
Well, I mean, listen, they'd have to disclose an injury, right? Like now, especially with all the gambling and betting, like you have to. I know college, you can be a lot more secretive, but
you don't have to disclose. Well,
I'm going to be honest. Like you do look at the close-up of his face. He does look like he's in a lot of pain, but maybe that's just Arch's face. I don't know. I want to give him, I guess, the benefit of the doubt. If he's not hurt, then he's not hurt. He just looks funny.
I've never filmed any of you guys when you're using the bathroom, so I don't know what faces you make when you're doing that.
You watch the U.S. Open, right? The women are screaming in agony every time they hit a forehand or a backhand.
Yeah.
So maybe
That's
when Arch throws, he just looks like that. I think it's possible. I'm going to lean with my guy.
It's like a wince, though. Listen, either way, the question's fair.
But now, you're throwing long, and he's throwing a lot of downfield passes. You might scrunch up your face as if you're in the restroom.
Gross. Again, yuck. But aside from that, I couldn't tell if this was him. Obviously Sark had this kind of ready to go, if you will. I don't know if he just came up with that on the spot. So does it feel like he's being a little defensive because, you could just say, no, he's not hurt. Like, that's it. Plain. No. Obviously, so much is riding on what Arch looks like this year.
Defensive how? About what?
Well, again, you just have to say no. Not, I don't film you guys in the bathroom seeing what kind of, faces you make.
What do you mean? Defensive, like he's hiding something?
No, I think that these things sometimes get second life when you try to get, over the top with it, or you try to get cute with it, or try to make this analogy, or try to head it off, I guess, when you could just say, he's not hurt, guys. Is he not hurt?
Well, I think he's mad about internet rumors. It's like,
well, welcome to 2025.
This poor kid. Yeah, but I mean, he's got a right to be what this guy, a former NFL quarterback, says my quarterback is hurt, and everybody runs with it on social media. That's got to PO a coach.
See, I think you got to just put the energy where the energy deserves to be. If this is totally not true, which I have no reason to believe it's not true, then just move on. Yeah. It's one of those things. You know who I'm sure is very, is not shocked by internet rumors and hearing, false things about himself? Arch Manning. He's grown up in this world. I'm not saying it's a great world to be in. I'm just saying it's the reality of what he probably deals with. If he ever does log on social media, I'm sure he sees ridiculous things about himself.
I don't know. I thought that was a bit of a ridiculous question. It's like Arch looks like who? What are you talking about? Who are you to say that Arch looks injured, this reporter? Because it's some internet rumors? This stuff I read on Twitter. Are you kidding me? They go to the coach? I totally understood it. The guy who asked him sounded like he was 16 years old.
I don't think it's an unfair question. He definitely looks like he's wincing in pain. And by the way, if he's not hurt, just say he's not hurt.
I mean,
he did.
I know exactly what the problem is in Texas.
What's that?
His name is Ryan Wingo. And if you took out the Ryan Wingo targets, Arch has a perfect passer rating. There's something wrong with so many players at Texas this year. Wingo, and I saw Colin Simmons, their big defensive end, is a mess. And Weiser's hurt. Everything's coming out on Arch. The whole team is a mess right now because they all have all this pressure on them.
So maybe Sark's feeling it a little bit.
Definitely.
Getting a little tight in these press conferences. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Welcome to weigh in on that, how Texas has looked. They have a big showdown with UTEP this Saturday.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
You missed it last night. Vikings with a big come-from-behind win to spoil the Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson debut of coach and quarterback together. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. An 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter, but then the Vikings defense turned it up first. Then the offense turned it up. 21 unanswered points. Final score, 27-24. Kevin O'Connell and J.J. McCarthy, the big winners last night.
Yeah, I mean, disappointing for Caleb Williams, but I urge patience. First game in this offense looked awesome in the first quarter. Like, I was already thinking about what's his bust going to look like in Canton. It was amazing. The guy, he is so good at avoiding tacklers. But then I don't think he saw the field the rest of the game very well. I credit the Vikings defense. Let's come back. To me, I say let's come back in a month and say, where are we with this duo of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams?
Yeah, that's fine. You want to preach patience. I understand it, but I didn't love what I saw, and I think I've been a little dubious of this pairing probably from the beginning. So I hope my bias is not being clouded or I'm not being clouded by a bias. I just thought what I saw last night was an 11-point lead. And you're at home against a basically rookie quarterback. It's a second year, but first start, who had already thrown a pick six, who was kind of like spiraling. I mean, J.J. McCarthy looked pretty bad through the first three quarters. Everything was overwhelming to him. You and Bogusch were talking earlier last hour about even just getting the snaps with the play clocks. Like, it felt like everything was on double speed for J.J. McCarthy, and I thought the Bears really let him off the hook. And first, yes, that's Brian Flores' defense dialing up on Caleb. But I thought Ben Johnson is supposed to be the guy who can get you a couple easy ones. You know, he's the one who turned Jared Goff into an MVP candidate, and I just didn't see any of that.
That's because Goff gets rid of the ball almost immediately.
Well, that's what it was supposed to be about Caleb, and maybe they'll get there, but it was faster than it was last year, but still not fast getting the ball out.
I saw it in the preseason. The guy holds on the ball for way too long, and last night he was faster, but then he had no choice but to be faster because he would have gotten killed, and he got hit a lot. I mean, and hard. And by the way, like that Vikings defense, that could be legit.
No, we know.
That might be a real factor this season.
Oh, it was definitely one of the big things for the Vikings about retaining Brian Flores, who's still in a lawsuit against the league, a discrimination lawsuit, or else you think that maybe that's clouding his ability to get another head coaching job. That and the fact that he and Tua Tagovailoa didn't get along, but you know, his defense is obviously awesome. And now this NFC North has got a couple defenses that look really, really good.
Well, but then again, then come playoffs, somebody's going to score 42 on them. That's the weird thing about the Vikings.
Yeah, that is true.
Flores has hot and cold games. It's like certain offenses can figure out Brian Flores and certain cannot. And definitely last night the Bears did not figure him out.
No, you heard boos from the crowd, and we're asking you today, are you buying or selling your Caleb Williams stock? Because here's the other part about Caleb, and I know this is early, but there's always other things going on. Like there was a Chicago Sun-Times article not a week and a half ago, Pearl, that just asked the question. A reporter went up to Caleb Williams and said, why do you think people hate you? And he was like, I don't know. He's like, maybe it's the nail polish, maybe it's the other stuff. There just always seemed like it was a credit to Caleb that, you know, he, I guess, answered the question, that he understands that there's a lot of people he seems to rub the wrong way. Coaches who got fired last year, you know, clearly upset with how that went down. So you had a big, like, you know, tell-all from our pal Ty Dunn about guys who clearly had an axe to grind with Caleb or whatever. There's just always something there, and I feel like this is a very pressure-packed situation for the Bears this season because they finally got the good coach. You have this great quarterback. It's not your DNA of what the Bears have always been. This has not been a quarterback-driven franchise, and I think they're really eager to change that. And games like last night don't go far in thinking they're going to change anything.
Yeah, I mean, again, one game, he's young. He's younger than Cam Ward, for example, who was the number one pick this year. 23. He did not. It wasn't like Michael Penix and Jaden Daniels, who spent 6 years in college. Give him some time to figure this out. Obviously, all the tools are there. You can't argue with the tools. There was a play where Jonathan Allen on the Vikings wrapped him up, and he was strong enough to get out of it.
Yep.
He's faster than everybody. His arm is tremendous. It's the simple stuff. There were a bunch of other plays where he had an open wide receiver and just threw it too late. I don't know. Ben Johnson's got to say, just get it out, get it out, get it out. And for some reason, he's always had trouble doing that.
A couple other things from Ben Johnson, a little bit of a bumpy debut for him. Decided to go for it on a 4th and 3.
In the second quarter.
Yeah, I know. But the points
That's all you got?
Points were at a premium last night. Offenses.
They scored 27 points. Like, those 3 points would have made no difference.
Oh, they lost by 3.
Well, I know, but we were down 27-17. The Vikings let them score that last point. But generally, like, the Vikings ended up scoring a lot more points than we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, well, they had 3 straight touchdown drives that were unanswered by the Bears. But the fact that they went for it on the 4th and 3 when they were in easy field goal range and they got stopped, so you left points on the board there where you could have tried to put a little distance. Again, this is when J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings quarterback, was playing really badly. So an ability maybe to put some more pressure on him, let him off the hook there. And then a bad challenge call. Like, I don't know sometimes, like, what coaches think they see, or EJ was saying maybe he was playing off the crowd. This TJ Hawkinson catch that was clearly a catch, and then the ball, and down by contact, and then the ball comes loose, and they burned a timeout, which they ended up needing.
Wow.
Early in the third.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if that timeout would have made a difference. I don't know. I feel like, yes, there are probably some growing pains. It's his first game. I mean, Kellen Moore was all over the place in New Orleans.
No expectation there.
Yeah.
In fact, people would love it. I'm sure the Saints fans would love it if they go 0-17.
Honestly, he's going to go for it on 4th down. And so is Dan Campbell. And listen, Dan Campbell got to the brink of reaching a Super Bowl doing it. It's just the reality. I know. So are you on record saying I'm anti-going for it on 4th and 2 and 4th?
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Listen, it's one thing to do it in the NFC Championship game, but Dan Campbell got skewered for how he handled the second half of that game against the 49ers.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like with Ben Johnson, I get if going for it is like your philosophy or what have you, but you can't be that rigid. Like, coach the game you're in. Points are at a premium. The quarterback on the other side is in a blender. Like, put a little more pressure on.
You can't pick and choose when you're going to use analytics. You got to, we'll see. I mean, honestly, and when I'm playing a team and it's 4th and 3 down at the 20-yard line and they bring out the field goal unit, I'm like, phew, that was a relief. You know, I do not want to see the opponent going for it on 4th down because it's obviously winning football. I mean, there's no doubt. It's 2025. We know that for 100 years, NFL teams were not aggressive enough on 4th down. That's been proven by every possible metric. So you can't pick and choose when you're going to do it. If you're going to follow the analytics, you got to do it. And it definitely works.
But I think the problem is when you apply the analytics without applying context, because you have to also apply who your team is and who you're playing against.
Yeah.
Now, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars and it's 4th and 3, yeah, maybe it's a lot more likely to say, hey, we can get these 3 yards. But when you're a Bears team with a brand new offense with a second-year QB going up against one of the best defenses in the NFL, and their team can't get a first down, I think you have to look at the analytics, but also apply game logic about what's going on. And in that game logic, I thought that it was a bad decision to go for it, especially when the Vikings were looking for anything to shift the momentum. And that
didn't shift the momentum at all.
No,
it didn't. But that's where playing. That's playing the result, not the.
Wait, but if he got in a 4-yard gain, then there's no way on earth you guys would be saying
They weren't getting a 4-yard gain. You saw the offense after the first drive. They weren't good.
It was points were going to be at a premium. I think we knew that early on in this game, and I was surprised that he decided. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. It is like he's a Dan Campbell acolyte, or Dan Campbell's his acolyte, or however you want to spin this. But I was surprised they left the points on the board. But we're asking if you're buying or selling the Caleb Williams stock, and the Caleb Williams Ben Johnson pairing. You know. So
yeah, I mean, you guys you pick it and choose when to go on 4th down. It's an interesting little game you're playing. Because if you're not aggressive on 4th down, then you're going home early.
But is also 4th and 3 different than 4th and 1?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like,
but I mean,
and they're not, it's one thing if you got the Philadelphia tush push and you've got, this unstoppable play. They didn't really have that. So
I think you kind of want to go for it on 4th and 3 in the year 2025 of our Lord. I really think 4th and 3 is a go for it thing. And I'm sure, I don't have the analytics in front of me, but I'm almost sure they would say yes.
Probably.
Footballism 2025.
Yeah, but the other part too is, again, like to EJ's point, like in my point, it's like coach the game that you're in. Like if I've got another quarterback on the other side who I really fear, then yes, I need to go for it. Like the Bills and the Ravens.
Yeah.
Like you had to be going for it. You had to be aggressive or else you're just going to get left behind. Football. Which happened at different points in the game on Sunday night.
Right.
But if I'm going against a rookie again, J.J. McCarthy looked terrible in the beginning of the game. The first 3 quarters, he was awful. And then in the fourth quarter, he turned into some completely different QB.
Coach the game you're in, yeah. That's, am I talking to Ray Hanley? This is 1984. I say follow the algorithms. I'm being dead serious. Like you can't. Okay. You got to
robots coach.
Stick to it, man. Like you got to. Dan Campbell's onto something. I still appreciate Dan Campbell. I mean, and apparently Ben Johnson was a huge proponent of going for it on 4th down. Yeah. I mean, first of all, what does that say to your team at 4th and 3? Like, I know the offense did not look good, but Ben Johnson can't act like that. He's got to act like we are actually good. Like he's got to be the Ben Johnson we had in Detroit. I want to see some stumble bombs. I want to see him try things. I really want to see him be aggressive.
We got to get the fundamentals down first here with this offense. I think before the stumble bum and the stuff he was doing with Goff feels like that was graduate level work. This is, you got to go back to the drawing board of the simple stuff, like of Caleb trying to get his hands around a more complicated offense than he was running last year, right?
Well, but you're saying like be less aggressive. I'm not sure.
Saying you can be
like
basic.
Ben Johnson's got to be himself. I don't want to, even if it doesn't work immediately, I want to see him be aggressive.
Let's get to the phones. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. We're asking, are you buying or selling on Caleb Williams and the Caleb Williams-Ben Johnson connection? George is in L.A. What's up, George? Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I'm definitely selling Caleb Williams. What is this, year 3 for him, or I believe, or maybe 2, but I think it's 3.
Year 2.
Anyway, okay, year 2. But anyway, he has tremendous talent, but some reason he's slow as far as his release, holds the ball too long. Decision making is not great. Ben Johnson doesn't have to be himself. I agree, but at some point he has to either perform or not. So I think they should sell him.
George, it's going to be interesting, and congrats to your Rams, by the way, with a narrow victory over Houston. That's a tough one to start the season with, but the Rams.
Whose house?
Rams' house. I know. Ramon, Indianapolis. Ramon, what'd you see last night from the Chicago Bears?
Maggie, I tell you, being from the Chicago area, this is what we see. I mean, friends of mine have been painting for the last 6-7 years. It's thoroughly ridiculous. I agree with everyone else. Perloff, he should not have went for that 4th and 3. 4th and 3, not 1.5. We don't have a history. We have a losing record in the last 10 years. We're part of that top 5 with losing records. You got to just try to build some momentum. And here he is playing gunslinger. Perloff, if you look at the Harvard study, most NFL games in within 3 points. Most of these 4th downs that they keep trying, they don't get. Philadelphia is the anomaly in getting these 4th downs because of that push. Other than that, go research it. Most of these teams don't get it. Defenses are better than what people think. And the Bears defense, look it up. I'll call it on this week. Look it up. And the Bears defense flat out gave up 21 points in the 4th quarter. That's not Chicago way. And then what happened with the tight end they drafted? I'm debating with people about drafting tight ends in the top 15. You don't draft no tight end that high. You need somebody to stop people. What the tight end do they drafted? He didn't make a catch yesterday.
Yeah. Well,
Komet got 1 catch.
Ramon, that's
okay.
what I said that to Maggie.
Yeah.
One of my issues is the way they built this team. Remember, it's like the Atlanta Falcons. Like drafting all skill position players is not how you build an offense. It's just absolutely it's inside out. It should be all the great teams, the Eagles, the Chiefs. Well, not necessarily the Chiefs. They draft in the trenches, and the Bears are trying to put this all together for Caleb on the outside.
And it didn't work, and it's just the same old thing. I'm going to Chicago sometimes in a minute, and when I sit down and drink my coffee and read what they're saying, you know how they are in Chicago. I got to go read what they're saying up there. But trust me, the people in the Chicago area are saying, here we go again.
Yeah, well, Ramon, thank you for that. And, you heard the displeasure from the Bears fans with all this hope and optimism from the offseason, and they're booing in the second half.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's their right. I'm not calling out the fans. I'm just saying that they're obviously feeling a little angst.
The Eagles fans are coming off a Super Bowl win and won their opening week game, and apparently they were booing like crazy. So, as they should have, by the way.
As we just shake our heads about Philadelphia.
Like somebody cover CeeDee Lamb for God's sake.
This is what happens when Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl. You're welcome. You see, we would have been better off if the Chiefs won.
Oh, come on now. That's crazy.
Rich, California. Rich, what'd you think about the Bears last night? What'd you see?
Well, not very impressed, but I was calling about the going on fourth down. When you do it like Campbell does it, don't you become predictable? There's a certain trying to put the stuff together with 53 basically moving parts, trying to turn it into a football team. And do you keep doing that on fourth down or keep trying on fourth down? You need to at least look at where you are on the field and what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, Rich, I mean, and thank you for that. Do you become predictable? Well, if you can't stop it, then what does it matter, if you're telegraphing that, we're a four downs kind of team. But I think the difference between the Lions and the Bears is the Lions have better offensive line, more weapons, and I think that's probably the difference, right? I mean, as far as them going for it on fourth down and that philosophy, I think they felt a lot more comfortable and that they were going to have a higher success rate than the Bears do last night. We don't even know what the Bears really have yet.
I'm about to say, we're making a sweeping judgment off of one play.
Well, it ended up being a big moment in the game. I know it was early in the game, but
really.
It still ended up being big. Yeah, it did, because this was...
That had nothing to do with... The Bears were leading for the next 37 minutes of the game. I mean, it really didn't actually. And then I think the missed field goal really hurt them tremendously too. But
it was a 50-yarder that set up Minnesota.
We're comparing the Lions' weapons to the Bears' weapons. You know what I would do? I would roll them out. Like the Chiefs are so hard because Mahomes can run for that first down, and the same with the Eagles and the Ravens. Like you got to use. I think maybe Ben Johnson on that one play. Was thinking more like in the Jared Goff mentality. Maybe he's got to switch to a mobile quarterback mentality, which is, by the way, you mentioned the fit. Maybe Ben Johnson needs a pocket guy and a Kirk Cousins type and not a Caleb. Because Caleb Williams, oh my God, his legs are unbelievable.
Yeah, how he was escaping at times, but then he had some other weird things where, he kind of like trips and falls and he ends up having to throw the ball away. That becomes intentional grounding. He stepped out of bounds at one point, which ended up being a sack. Like it was just all kind of
J.J. McCarthy did a full cartwheel when he tripped on a guy.
He did a forward roll. Yeah. That was when things were going particularly bad for the Vikings.
I'll tell you one thing about Chicago. They really needed the run game to help Caleb last night, and it was not there. That was a huge factor in this game.
That's true. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Things were just getting out of hand in that fourth quarter, and the Vikings were applying major pressure. You're welcome to call in. Are you buying or selling your Caleb Williams stock after this week 1 loss to the Vikings? Coming up next, let's get to the 49ers injury report, because that thing is a bloodbath. Maggie Perloff.
Best time of year, Maggie. We got football, we have tennis, we have baseball, we have video games that you and I are trying to wrap our head around. It's all on PrizePicks, where being right can get you paid. Millions of users, billions of dollars awarded winnings. PrizePicks is the best place to put your takes to the test. So simple to use. Just pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on their projections. And if you're right, you could win big.
Okay, who wants to play along with me tonight? I like Casey Mize for the Tigers against Manny's New York Yankees, 4.5 strikeouts. And I'm going to put that together with a little Julio Rodriguez over 6.5 hitter fantasy score. He's been really good the last couple of games. They're facing St. Louis. Let's go, everybody. Right now, PrizePicks. It's the fast, safe, and secure app. Don't miss any of the action this season with PrizePicks, where it is so good to be right. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code M&P and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code M&P on PrizePicks. Get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing, guaranteed. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Because we're about to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. Last year, most injured team in the league. Maggie, it looks like it's shaping up that way again this year.
Yeah, well, obviously, George Kittle, now we get the news that he's going to be out for several weeks. They're deciding whether or not to put him on IR because he's got a hamstring issue. Not a surprise because he had to leave the game. And the third string tight end, who we found out was not a rookie, thanks to newsman Andrew Bogusch, Jake Tonjes, was the guy who caught the go-ahead touchdown for them in a really, really tight game against division rival Seattle.
Just like we all expected.
Exactly, like we all drew it up. But Brock Purdy, now that's the bigger news.
Yeah.
Not that Kittle's not big news, it is. but Purdy looks like dealing with a variety of injuries, not just, was it shoulder and toe? So he's got two things working against him, and Kyle Shanahan is not committing to whether he's going to play week 2 against the Saints.
Well, I have a silver lining for you here on the Niners.
Yeah, they're playing the Saints.
Well, that, and also Brock Purdy's not that good.
Oh. Wow.
I mean, you saw him play. Did he? Are you worried about that quarterback going out? Heck, try Mac Jones. Why not? I mean, I'm not saying Mac Jones is going to be as good as Brock Purdy. He's good, but he definitely did not look sharp against the Seahawks. And by the way, this is a team who a few years ago went from Trey Lance to Jimmy Garoppolo to Brock Purdy. Like, it is not a straight line at the quarterback situation. So I am not, anybody who's selling their stock because Brock Purdy is dinged up, I don't think understands the Kyle Shanahan experience.
Okay, that's fine, but to be honest, I was like going back over this game yesterday, the tight game between San Francisco and Seattle, and Purdy had to make some pretty incredible throws there for them to pull this game out. As I was watching,
checked down to McCaffrey 1,600 times.
But that's what they want to do. That's like him following orders. And they also, they have no Ayuk right now. There's so many wide receiver injuries. Demarcus Robinson is suspended at the beginning of the season for that DUI. I just think that the McCaffrey stuff, they want to do that.
No, they don't. I don't think they want McCaffrey to get that much wear and tear. I don't really think that their passing game, they wanted to be 60% Christian McCaffrey. I think you're right. I honestly think he's checking down. I think there's a call to go somewhere else.
Well, but you could always put a backup in if you really didn't want McCaffrey to carry that much of the load. I was surprised. I thought I was with you. I thought that they'd have McCaffrey, not on a pitch count necessarily, but using a little more sparingly. But they were in this tight game, and I think they felt they needed him. He's clearly their number one offensive weapon. You can see that, but Purdy had to make some pretty big throws on that final touchdown drive. He was really good. I don't know if it's just as easy as saying, all right, let's get Mac Jones in, like it's the Progressive commercial with the backup quarterbacks. Like Mac Jones, I do not have that type of faith in.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, aren't you a bit curious? Because Kyle Shanahan, that's the guy he wanted in the draft to see what happens. I just think, first of all, their schedule is so easy, so they can survive a lot. I am actually a little encouraged by a different direction. The fact that Robert Saleh got that defense back to where it should be. Like, that's been the problem the last 3 years. Their defense all of a sudden was not good. They were great against the run. Against Seattle, who's supposed to have this vaunted running attack, they were stuffed at the line time and time again. So I think actually you come away, you hate the injuries, and you're worried about the fact that Ayuk's not out there yet, which is a major problem. But you are happy that the defense looked like a Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans kind of defense in San Francisco.
Yeah, and obviously came up with, the big play at the end as the Seahawks were driving pretty easily with Sam Darnold at the end of the game to take the lead, and a offensive lineman kind of got backed up into Sam Darnold, and Nick Bosa comes away with the ball, and it was a sack fumble. Yeah, I think it's overstated sometimes of just anyone can run Kyle Shanahan's offense. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to really see the true test, though, because they are playing against the Saints, who the Saints have a not terrible defense, but this kind of feels like I'm getting shades of the season from hell here once again with the 49ers. And I picked them to win the Super Bowl, so obviously I'm feeling a little nervous about that. They were injured in the offseason, injured out of camp. Now the injuries are continuing to stack up, and Purdy sometimes feels like you're paying $60 million or whatever for Jimmy Garoppolo. I get that, but I think sometimes we don't give him enough credit for having to make the big throws. Like, he had 2 picks in this game, came back from that. This was not an easy game. Seattle's defense may be one of the best in the league.
Yeah, that's a great point. But the Niners are 8th in odds now at 19-1. They started the season, I think, at 21. I think they're right where they were to start, even because Purdy's not going to be out for a long time.
If he's out at all. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually ends up miraculously playing in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could actually walk away from that game and look at the defense and say, okay, this might be something. It reminds me so much of the year after they lost to the Chiefs the first time. They came back, they were 10-7. Mm-hmm. Then they went on a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm curious what you guys think and how nervous people are getting in San Francisco at 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. You okay?
No, I'm definitely not.
You dying there?
I'm definitely not okay. I'm getting emotional about Brock Purdy being injured.
They're getting emotional about getting another backup quarterback crush.
By the way, content-wise, we all want Mac Jones to play, right?
No.
What?
No.
You don't want to see how this Trey Lance, Mac Jones, 30 for 30 plays out? Like Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones, and John Lynch and the owner talked him into Trey Lance, and then he never got to play.
Is that how this went down?
Yeah.
That's going to make numbers on
It
the
was
zone.
2-1.
It's going to make numbers on the zone, I promise.
Wait, what do you mean?
I wouldn't want to watch that on
down?
Netflix or Tubi.
So I'm dying to see, like, what did Shanahan see in Mac Jones in the first place? And by the way, I mean, listen, he made Brock Purdy into a $50 million quarterback. He was the Mr. Irrelevant. So you never know. I just want to know, is Mac Jones going to be good? Is he going to be bad? Like, how does this all play out? I got to find out.
Mac Jones might be the most uninteresting quarterback in the entire NFL. I could care less if he walked in today.
Yeah, but that Shanahan Mac Jones narrative was a big deal. I remember.
No, I remember it. And then they watched his pro day, and we all looked at his face, and they looked like Arch Manning making a 15-yard pass. They were all wincing because of how bad it was. I don't.
The guy went 15th in the draft or 14th, one of those.
And he's a bust. Yeah, the guys get drafted in the first round, and then they end up not being good. I think the Mac Jones thing, for me, is not that interesting.
Interesting first name, though, McCorkle.
McCorkle is a cool name.
I mean, he took over for Trevor Lawrence last year, and it wasn't great. So, he had some games to play with Jacksonville. Now, listen, maybe everyone was dead man walking on that team. Maybe they'd given up. Maybe Doug Peterson knew he was getting fired. I don't know. Everything from the above. But I just...
Who was that guy who was the Niners backup forever from Iowa?
Mullins?
God.
Not C.J. Mullins. Beathard.
Yeah, C.J.
Beathard, yeah.
Yeah, like that's not interesting. Mac Jones, like that'd be something we could rip him or
like a first-round reclamation project.
Yeah, no, I mean, people love ripping Mac Jones. It's like a national pastime. I think everyone would have a great time with that. If he played badly, everyone would be all over it.
So the other part about this is we know sometimes, and I don't want to say
Alabama.
Just because things have happened in the past, it'll happen again. But we know with the 49ers, sometimes when this injury thing happens, it starts to really snowball. And I don't know, McCaffrey already popped up on the injury report right before the opener. And then they gave him 22 carries and 9 receptions on 10 targets. Like, they are using him a lot. So you can't be surprised if McCaffrey ends up, possibly dealing with some injuries this season. And you just wonder if this starts to snowball a little with the injury stuff, because that's happened a lot with the 49ers. And then you start going down the negative road of windows closing and whether or not this team actually needs a lot more retooling than they did just even in the offseason.
So if you wanted to get in the windows closing conversation, why was the window open? Like, who's the player what's the window? Whose window? Like,
championship window.
Yeah, like, why would the championship window, like, are you saying the championship window is only open when Nick Bosa is playing? Like, what's the secret sauce that...
Being healthy. And maybe it looks like they're still relying on guys who have too much of an injury concern, especially on offense.
So, yeah, I mean, when I think of a championship window closing, that means like somebody's getting old or something. Like, not just like, I'm not sure, like, why would it close? Like, what's it going to be different about the Niners in 2 years than now?
Well, they're going to have to do some major facelift on offense. I mean, McCaffrey's not going to be there in 2 years.
Yeah, but McCaffrey
Kittle's
wasn't there for the first Super Bowl. I mean... He wasn't there. He wasn't there for the second NFC title game. I don't know.
Trent Williams was there though for all of that.
Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Was he there for the 19 Super Bowl?
I think they traded him for midseason, right? Wasn't that the whole big trade that they made?
Yeah, I mean, so the whole thing is relying on Trent Williams, who's like 100.
Well, that's another part.
I mean, he's
still good.
He's a walk-in Hall of Famer. I mean, we're going to minimize him at left tackle?
That's the narrative. Like the Niners window exists because of Trent Williams. I'm sorry, that is not what I've never heard that said before.
I think if you combine Trent and then Christian McCaffrey and then George Kittle, who also won't be there in 3 years, yeah, I think combining those 3 guys, that is a big facelift.
I mean, I think that Bosa and Warner are far more important than those 3 players. I mean, be dead serious.
I can't think of middle linebacker is more important than a left tackle. That is crazy to me.
Fred Warner is the heart and soul of that team, and he's amazing.
Yeah,
middle linebackers get paid peanuts, and left tackles get paid almost like quarterbacks. I don't.
And if you're expecting
and it's Trent Williams, it's not like a tomato can there.
If we expect also that Mac Jones is going to have a prayer, then Trent Williams has to be healthy. Briefly left the game against Seattle, but came back. 49ers injuries. How are you guys feeling? 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Andrew Bogusch has the latest. with last night and everything else. What's up, folks?
Guys, your headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with our easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com.
Throw it, man!
On their very first drive of the season, the Bears marched 61 yards in 10 plays for a Caleb Williams touchdown run.
Oh, they won then.
But the offense didn't return to the end zone until there were 2 minutes left in the game when Rome Odunze caught a TD pass from Williams.
It's not a play call thing. It's not anything like that. It's just being able to go out there and execute the plays that are called. And be able to, execute them at a high level. And that's something that we take pride in. And today that didn't happen.
The Vikings did execute 3 times, in fact, in the fourth quarter.
Minnesota 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to McCarthy. He's got time, and he launches a long spiral. Backpedaling catch. Goal line. Far side. Touchdown, Aaron Jones. Oh, what a grab, and what a throw. A 27-yard strike, and the Vikings have their first lead tonight.
That's Kevin Harlan on
the
a
guy is drunk.
Would have won. That was the Vikes' middle score in the final period. J.J. McCarthy had already connected with Justin Jefferson. He ran for the TD that ended up being the difference in a 27-24 win in Chicago on the opening Monday night.
What?
Kevin O'Connell, a happy head coach last night.
New quarterback on the road, some new players throughout our team, really trying to figure it out together. And the way that we were able to do that, very, very proud of our team.
McCarthy is the first QB to author a double-digit rally in the fourth quarter in his debut since Steve Young in 1985. He is the first to do it on the road since 1950.
Damn.
Is Kevin O'Connell the only head coach who our respect for him is standard regardless of playoff success? Because I think everyone, like last night in the broadcast, they were talking about how great a job he's done and the fact that he was able to get McCarthy back on track.
Come on, Daddy.
He's a great regular season coach, but he has 0 postseason success, and it seems like we just don't even care.
I think people look at Stefanski that way. There's like a Stefanski hive that people believe he's like amazing, the Cleveland Browns head coach, when like there are whole seasons where you have no evidence of that.
Well, I would argue Kevin O'Connell's just got there, though. I mean, he's in his 4th year now? Or wait. So
2021 was his first year, right?
2022 is his first year, 22, 23, 24. So this is his 4th year. Yeah, I mean, he's young. I think that's why. I think if he has another playoff loss, then I think you'll start to hear that, right? Because
I don't know. The first 2 have been pretty bad. He lost to the Giants. That was not great at home.
The New York Giants?
Yeah, it was just stunning.
The New York football Giants, not the baseball team.
And then last year, you had the Rams with the game having to be moved to Arizona. All the Rams players dealing with the fallout from the wildfires, and Minnesota just went in and laid an egg.
I mean, they also had that. I mean, they also were in the pole position to win the division and get home field advantage, and they blew that to the Lions. So but I mean, I love.
Yeah,
KOC.
but it's Sam Darnold at quarterback. I mean,
I was gonna say, I wonder if some of this is because people just look at Kirk Cousins and what other guy?
Darnold.
I almost said Leonard. Sam Darnold, and say, well, those quarterbacks stink, and that's why they.
Well, he took over a bad team in 22 and turned them around immediately.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, they weren't so bad as a franchise, but he's only in his 4th year. I feel like, and he's 41 years old? I don't know. Feels way too early to come down on him.
Start stacking up the playoff losses.
Yeah, like Kyle Shanahan, I get. That's been a long time. Andy Reid for a long time had playoff choker on his resume.
I'm just trying to think
guys figure it out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The head coaches we respect, period. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Andy
Reid for sure. Tomlin. I mean, I thought John Harbaugh, although I think that the Ravens fans have an issue with him now.
Mike T is the man.
Sean McDermott, you guys know my feeling about. I'm not his biggest fan.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlin's not universally loved in Pittsburgh.
That's true. People are kind of 18 years later, they're trying to chip away. Who are the guys who are the universally respected guys, period?
I think Reid and McVay.
Yeah, McVay. Okay.
I think LaFleur is too. I don't see a lot of McFleur haters.
Yeah, but he's been a bomb in the playoffs, right?
I mean, he may be kind of like Kevin O'Connell. I don't. Yeah. Where are these people who say, "Oh, you're great, LaFleur," but you don't win in the playoffs?
Well, maybe it's Maggie's Michael Jordan theory that Patrick Mahomes is blocking a lot of people from doing what they should be doing. Because Michael Jordan blocked a lot of it, just to fill that out. Maybe it's just that you have Patrick Mahomes is screwing up the whole thing. like Tom Brady did for many, many years with Peyton Manning and Phillip Rivers.
Right, exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're saying if a guy can't win a Super Bowl, he's not a good coach?
Well, I mean, it's not about not winning a Super Bowl. I mean, they've had some flameouts in the playoffs. This was not, like you went in there and you had a respectable game. Like it was embarrassing against the Giants. It was embarrassing against the Lions to seal the division. It was embarrassing against the Rams.
But they had a 13-4 record when everyone knew they weren't good. And then they were last year at 14-3. They were taking on water at the end of the season. The 13-4, Maggie, you and I talked about, that was a joke. Like that, their like point differential was -7 or something. PFF said like they should be 3-14, not 13-4. So anyway, KOC is pretty good, and the fact that he has like Brian Flores there, that's a bit of a little dream team. Offense, defense, I love it.
Well, the fact that they've been able to retain Flores, normally you would think if a guy's not in a lawsuit against the league and other things, that he would get a second chance.
Yeah.
And the fact is that he did have a good relationship with Tua, but look how it's working out in Miami. Like, maybe that's just not savable.
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings fans are probably thrilled about that lawsuit. It keeps Flores there.
Maybe. Which would ironically add to the lawsuit.
Exactly.
You know? Bogusch, maybe another half one for us?
I could remind you that I hate the Mets.
Runners lead second and third. 1-0 Phillies, 2 out, top 9. Duran sets the 0-2 to Alvarez. Swung on and missed strike 3. Again, the breaking ball, a knuckle curve away, and the ball game is over. 4 Phillies pitchers have combined to shut out the New York Mets.
I don't say this lightly. At least 3 of us on the show could have had a better at bat than Francisco Alvarez last night to end this game.
I know I can. I'm at the cages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Striking out as called by Howie Rose on Mets radio. The Mets began the night by not hitting Aaron Nola, who everybody was hitting until last night. They lose the game 1-0. They drop 4 of 5 overall. Their lead for the last NL wildcard spot is now 3 games on the Giants, who dropped Arizona last night 11-5. San Francisco has won 12 of its last 15.
And
I can't say a word because the Mets are ruining everything.
And someone decided to blow a huge fart during Aaron Nola's postgame press conference, which is just
That's
hilarious. Right. I don't know if the teammate has been identified yet, but
was Scotty Scheffler in the locker room visiting?
It would be him. He's already admitted. So 888-710-4ISN. Bogusch, thanks a lot. Coming up, the one thing that no one is talking about coming off of that epic Sunday night game with the Bills and the Ravens, we are going to tackle this question next. M&P.
You got to spread those out.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
Club M&P.
Let's get down to
One of those morning clubs. Became really popular with people like Manny's age.
Did they really? Or is the fact that I saw like news stations like covering them and there were like 27 people there? Like, man, did you ever go to a morning club?
Hell no, I didn't even go to morning class. You want me to go to a club?
Well done. Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff Show. And ask you today, are you buying or selling your Caleb Williams stock? I want to get to another topic no one's talking about when it comes to that Bills-Ravens game from Sunday night. But John is in Vancouver. John, you're saying pump the brakes on the Caleb questions.
Hi, Maggie. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, John.
Hi. I think I kind of would side more with Andrew on this one, Maggie, only because he's such a young quarterback, and the other thing is everyone's talking about how he looked great that the first quarter, and then of course I guess the Vikings defense dialed it up a bit, and then their offense with J.J. McCarthy, but no one's kind of referencing the fact that the Bears defense allowed 3 straight second half touchdown scores. Like, it'd be nice to have got 1 or 2 stops there to help their young quarterback. And like Andrew said, a running game would go a long ways to helping Caleb too. And I just say maybe in a month, at the end of September, let's just see where his progression is. And maybe there is reason for concern, but after one game, I'm not going to, lose my stock in him.
Well, John, that's a measured way to look at it, and that's probably a healthier way to look, which is funny, though, about the Bears defense, because you would have thought Dennis Allen created, was touched by the hand of the football gods, the way that Troy and Joe were talking about how impressive the Bears defense looked up until that fourth quarter.
Well, I actually had the thought last night. Dennis Allen is a good defensive coordinator and a bad head coach.
Yep.
He's fits that mold perfectly. And I was thinking the same thing. He's really got the Vikings figured out. And then, but I blame the offense too. The offense should have held the ball longer and put more points ahead of them. Dennis Allen actually did fine. At some point, if you keep going 3 and out, your defense is going to wear down.
Yeah, crucial drives here in the fourth quarter after the Vikings score a touchdown to make it 17-12. So now they're just trailing by 5. Bears go 3 and out, hold the ball for 1:36. Vikings come back, score another touchdown quickly, and then the Bears have a 5-play drive for 2 minutes. I mean, it was not the complimentary football that you'd hope for.
By the way, as far as being patient with Caleb Williams, I mean, look at your quarterback, Josh Allen. I know he started to figure out a little bit in year 2.
Yeah, they made the playoffs in year 2.
But he was still he wasn't putting up Josh Allen numbers at all, or even anywhere close.
See, this is maybe the tough part about expectations when it comes from Caleb. Like, Caleb was a Heisman Trophy winner, 5-star coming out of high school.
He's got to be Mahomes, you're saying?
Well, Mahomes I don't think was like that. I'm just saying there's an expectation that he is a lot more figured out. Josh Allen came into the league as a project, right? And he was a top 10 pick, so he's got expectations, but he was also coming into a situation where the Bills had just snapped a 17-year playoff drought. There was just much different expectations. This Bears team, you have Ben Johnson, was the highly coveted coach for 2 or 3 different coaching cycles. Like, Caleb Williams is a much more highly touted quarterback than Josh Allen ever was.
I mean, Josh Allen went 7.
No, I know, but he was coming from Wyoming. How many people had ever even watched him play?
Go Pokes.
I saw him play.
Caleb Williams is coming from Oklahoma and USC, not the same, right?
Well, regardless, so he should be viewed the same way that he should have time to develop, right? Like, who cares about the expectations? That's outside the building. Inside, why would we not give Caleb Williams the same time as other quarterbacks just because of that hype?
You know what's funny is you mentioned that his age and he's young and he's not even the same age as what Michael Penix you said or whatever. Like, the guys are different ages now coming out of college because those COVID years and you can transfer freely and all of it. I don't think that matters in the NFL.
Oh, it matters so much.
It should, but it's how many years have you put in the league? Like, Caleb Williams started his career as, he started from day 1. So I think it's about football years. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying I think the clock has started on Caleb Williams.
I don't know. I mean, Jaden Daniels just seemed so ready to go last year, where the younger guys, I mean, yes, there are some anomalies, guys who come in at 21 and just awesome. C.J. Stroud came in. It was amazing. But generally, I think the older quarterback, and listen, it used to be not like this at all. It used to be old quarterbacks like Brandon Weeden and Chris Wenke were not good. But I think you're going to see the trend, the guys who have a lot of college football, because the transfer portal has changed the way quarterbacks develop. Jaden Daniels, without the transfer portal, might not even be in the NFL. So I think the transfer portal is going to create these older quarterbacks. I mean, look at this year's draft. You're going to have a Garrett Nussmeier there, who I believe is getting up there. Not because it's transfer portal. Jaden Daniels. But I don't know.
I think Bo Nix is even the bigger example. Bo Nix would have never been in the NFL off the Auburn tape.
Yeah, I mean, and he came in and he got the team to the playoffs. Yeah, as an older quarterback, of course, we're anti-Bo Nix after week 1. That was terrible.
Didn't look the same.
Yeah, it was terrible. But, I mean, I maybe I'm wrong, but I do think younger quarterbacks, for example, this is in college, but Bryce Underwood played for Michigan this weekend.
Yep, against Oklahoma.
Dude just turned 18. Like, that's a big factor to me, and age. And I think Caleb at 23, you got to give him some time. But you bring up a great point. The expectations just came into this guy it came into the league with this guy.
And not all of it's his fault. Like, there's an expectation now with Ben Johnson, so they both have expectations, and this idea that, there's a question about whether or not to pay your quarterback after year 3.
Oh, I know. Well, okay, listen, his stats were fine last night, though. He definitely had better stats than J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy threw for 144 yards. So I think if Caleb Williams can avoid turnovers and he can develop and learn the offense, I think there were encouraging signs last night. And I judge after a month, he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes in his second year. And this is where you and I disagree. I want to see baby steps. You kind of want to see him be good.
Yeah, I thought that J.J. McCarthy appeared to figure it out in the fourth quarter. And granted, his defense helped him a lot, but he seemed to figure it out as that first game went on, where Caleb got worse. Once the script was over of the first drive, then things really seemed to go off the rails, whereas McCarthy head was spinning in those first 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter, he looked as poised as anything.
Figure it out. I mean, just throw it toward Justin Jefferson.
Well, and then Aaron Jones throw was amazing. In between 2 guys, that was awesome.
the thing about having Justin Jefferson was not himself last night. So I will give I think
Dealing with
McCarthy will
injuries,
get better as he gets healthier. But that's a big difference too. I mean, listen, he's Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and countless other guys.
Are you selling your Caleb Williams stock? 888-710-4ISN. Will this be a good marriage between him and Ben Johnson? Also, we'll get to the one thing no one's talking about when it came to that Bills-Ravens matchup.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Ruber showed up with a racket in hand, talking like he's finally the man with the plan. Said this year's mine, been training all fall. Daily just laughed, didn't sweat it at all. First serves in and the crowd leans in. By the first few games, it's looking like a sin. Rube swinging wild, chasing every ball, but Daly's got answers for them all. Rube just can't beat Daddy, it's the same old song. Every forehand's fire, every backhand strong. The score's lopsided, the outcome's clear, and Peter Bellotti still ain't here. Yeah. While Rubu's out there losing in the heat, Gubs on the mic, Perloff's in retreat. Filling in smooth, keeping fans on the line, taking that show and making it shine. But back on the court, it's another route. Daly's running Rube in and out. It's 6-love quick, no mercy shown. Rube is already wishing he'd stay at home. Rube just can't beat Daddy, it's the same old song. Every forehand's fire, every backhand strong. The score's lopsided, the outcome's clear, and Peter Bellotti still ain't here. Out there losing in the heat, Gubs on the mic, Perloff's in retreat. Filling in smooth, keeping fans on the line, taking that show and making it shine. But back on the court, it's another route. Daly's running Ruby. Ruber showed up with a racket in hand, talking like he's finally the man with the plan. Said this year's mine, been training all fall. Daly just laughed, didn't sweat it at all. First serves in and the crowd leans in. By the first few games, it's looking like a sin. Rube swinging wild, chasing every ball, but Daly's got answers for them all. Rube just can't beat Daddy, it's the same old song. Every forehand's fire, every backhand strong. The score's lopsided, the outcome's clear, and Peter Bellotti still ain't here.
1 minute remaining. seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
First and 10 from the 27 of the Bears. McCarthy out of the shotgun. Blitz is on, is picked up. McCarthy loops it to Jones. Touchdown! He's showtime! And the Minnesota Vikings have taken a 1-point lead.
Thank you to the Vikings Radio Network for that. Aaron Jones, 27-yard touchdown reception. Minnesota, as you heard, takes the lead there. The 2-point conversion was good, so they go up by a field goal. They would ultimately win 27-24. They trailed by 11 points going into the fourth quarter. And so for the Bears, they're kind of left to pick up the pieces here a little bit, Pearl, on a debut that between head coach and quarterback, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, that was very much up and down. Looked great early. That first drive was like, all right, maybe Chicago's got something cooking here. And then adjustments started happening, and the Bears sort of fell apart.
Oh, yeah. They started to really lose the battle in the trenches badly. Not just a little bit. They couldn't create any space for their running back, and they could not protect Caleb Williams, which is partly on Caleb Williams, too. Caleb Williams has got to get rid of the ball. The whole thing sort of fell apart. What was it? Sort of 10 drives without much to show for it. That got really bad. And then at the last drive, though, we saw Caleb Williams looked awesome again. So maybe he needs like you know how young quarterbacks need a 2-minute drill to just get out of their head and just run it?
Yep.
Feels like Caleb's just got to let it play looser, not press as much, because after that first 15 plays, it looked like he was a little late on a lot of throws. The pressure was definitely getting to him. He took some massive hits.
And also, like, the way that the Bears even got staked to a little bit bigger lead was because of a pick six on J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
So it was a nice drive at first for Caleb, then a pick six that helps the Bears to stake them to a lead. But then that fourth quarter, things just flipped on their head. As you said, you know, Caleb didn't have a lot of time. He was getting pressures, getting flushed out of the pocket. He was missing throws. Meanwhile, J.J. McCarthy settled down. The run game started to really take over for the Vikings as well.
Yeah, Jordan Mason.
I
Remember
know.
that guy?
I
Wow.
do.
I thought it would be Aaron Jones, and it was the former Niners running back.
But Aaron Jones with that big touchdown catch as we just played for you. You know, the funny part about this is, and I think the getting to the heart of it is not just a disappointing to drop, you know, your opener against a division rival when it felt like you kind of had him because McCarthy looked really, really bad through the first three quarters and then great in the fourth quarter. But is this going to work? And this like healthy skepticism that I think lives deep down in the heart of every Bears fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this actually going to work with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson? And is Caleb going to ever realize his full potential in a Bears uniform?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I just think be patient. That's all I got to say. I mean, if there was another situation, if it wasn't Caleb Williams and it wasn't Ben Johnson, the most ballyhooed hire in 10 years, then if it was a normal coach, you'd be like, okay, let's give this a minute. Let's let them learn each other and be patient. And again, we are, and you and I are prey to this just like everyone else. I mean, it is week one.
Yeah.
They played limited preseason. We're going to have to judge it after a month. And listen, 210 yards and a touchdown. I think that there was enough there to say, okay, I want baby steps out of Caleb Williams. I don't need him to be Patrick Mahomes, the guy he was compared to in college immediately. I get this whole, like, he's supposed to be a generational talent debate that sort of took over the internet. But, hey, can we just get him to be like a B? Would that be possible?
Ask his head coach. I mean, it is because I think if you want to be from Caleb Williams, then you do things like kick a field goal when it's 4th and 3 and not ask him to convert down there and be overly aggressive when you're in a dogfight of a game.
Wait, was that with 30 seconds left in the game? I can't remember that being a huge...
It was in the second quarter.
Yeah, so who cares?
Well, because the things should matter. Like, because it's a 3-point game and it ended up not being a blowout and it ended up being this really tight game where everything gets scrutinized. I
can't wait till Sean McDermott kicks a field goal on 4th and 1 and you get mad at this.
I get mad at Sean McDermott all the time. Stakes a little bit higher for my Bills than maybe the Bears, but the 12 penalties for 127 penalty yards, these things have got to get all cleaned up if they're going to actually even get like a B, as you're saying, out of Caleb Williams this year.
Well, I mean, what would you give him last night?
Not a B, like a C-.
Caleb Williams?
Yeah.
I mean, what about the pressure? Like, did you see it coming at him?
And this is why I also am critical of Ben Johnson and you're defending him, because when you realize that the momentum's kind of slipping away, right? Where after the Justin Jefferson touchdown in the fourth quarter, this is off a missed 50-yard field goal. Then the Vikings go down and score with Justin Jefferson, and then you're the Bears, you go 3 and out.
Yeah,
now you give the ball right back. Like where if Ben Johnson is like the offensive guru and like where's a couple easy ones? The next drive, they score a touchdown. You heard the Aaron Jones highlight. Bears take the field. 5-play drive.
That's where you run the ball, and the Bears tried, and they just could not create any holes. And then they couldn't stop the run on the other side of the ball. Is that coaching, or is that just they got beat?
Well, I mean, 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter. I know you don't think that's a big deal. I think you'd be ticked off if that was your Eagles with an 11-point lead and then blowing it at home in the fourth quarter. Like, that's stuff that the coach has to answer for.
I don't know. I think this was also on the players. Like, this was not like,
of course.
Again, like it didn't strike me as a egregious coach. Honestly, I think the better team walked away with it. If Justin Jefferson was healthy from the get-go, I mean, they're the better team. They won 14 games last year. The Bears won, 5 games last year? So I think that maybe people, once again, bought into the Bears hype a little too much. This is a developmental team, and that's how we should view them.
That's totally fine, but they did have a double-digit lead going into the fourth quarter. Like, that's where you actually throw all that preseason junk out the window.
Okay, but they were down 10 points with 5 minutes left in the game. So, yes, you keep on saying the 11-point, but they lost that lead pretty fast.
Which is definitely a problem. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. We're asking you, are you buying or selling your Caleb Williams stock today? Want to quickly get to a question nobody is talking about when it comes to what we saw Sunday night, Pearl, against the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. A classic game, 41-40 is the final score. And while we were all impressed by what we saw, I think we were all impressed by what we saw from Josh Allen in the comeback with the Bills.
Make me wanna
Started talking about this after the show yesterday. And I think it was you who brought up the question.
Well, my question was, has there ever been a Super Bowl winner who let up 40 points in their first game of the season? I actually asked our crack research team. It turns out we don't have a crack research team. But it seems like a lot of points to give up for a Super Bowl champion. And, I mean, if you look at the odds, the Bills are by far the number 1 team in Super Bowl odds, and the Ravens are by far the number 2 seed in Super Bowl odds. So I guess Vegas doesn't think it matters.
Yeah.
Who was on crack?
Well, it's just funny to think of basically what you're whittling down this question to either of these teams, for as impressive as they both were on offense in that Sunday night game, or do either of these teams have a good enough defense to actually win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, that's my, because obviously they have the quarterbacks. I think yes, they still do, because one thing is like the running quarterback screwed up both teams. And, when another team's going to sell out a run there, I mean, Josh Allen ran 14 times and Lamar ran all the time. Like, that is, like, even great defenses fall prey to running quarterbacks. Traditionally in the NFL, eventually those running quarterbacks get hurt, but no longer in the new rule setup. So I think that you could give a pass, because when Josh Allen's going to run it 14 times, there's nothing a defense can do. You just like, if I was a defense and I was a Ravens, I would start really taking shots at him. I know he got out of bounds a lot, but what are you supposed to do?
So, what are you supposed to do?
I mean, and also Allen, by the way, they got to him. He just like ignored them, like Big Ben style, and was moving around the pocket. I would give him a pass because both quarterbacks are so ridiculously good.
The part of your question that really rang true to me, and one that kind of made me pause for a minute, as obviously the Bills fan on the show, is I don't think that their defense is good enough for them to win a Super Bowl.
You've always thought that.
I've always thought that, and I think
Bills.
it this year. And here's a couple reasons why. Number one, last year, the Kansas City Chiefs offense, I know that Kansas City won 15-2 last year, but their offense was like not what we were used to seeing, right? kind of anemic offense for Kansas City.
Yes,
for
definitely.
an Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes outfit, this was not what we were used to seeing. And what happened in the AFC Championship game? 32-29. Kansas City hadn't scored 32 points all year long.
Yep.
And they were able to do that against Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. And then I'm looking around at the NFC in week one, granted, week one. Can we talk about some of the defenses that the NFC is putting out there? Your Philadelphia Eagles, which I think will get a lot better on defense as the year goes on.
Ooh, what makes you think that?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Commanders defense. Looking good against Manny's New York Giants. Can I
Okay,
offer you the
okay.
Green Bay Packers?
The
Look at the
Commanders.
Vikings last night. How about the Seahawks defense? I don't even know if they're going to be a playoff team.
They're good.
But the Seahawks defense is good. Robert Sala's back with the 49ers.
Yeah.
The Rams look like maybe they have the best defense. And even in the AFC, Houston's defense obviously looks great. The Broncos defense looks great. I think the Chiefs defense is going to be very good. The Chargers look like they had the Chiefs on their heels. You know, like, there are a lot of good defenses, and this is what makes me concerned for both Buffalo and for Baltimore, quite frankly. But the one thing about Baltimore is last year their defense started out bad and got better as the season went on.
And then it's like,
maybe they can do that again. But
but
your
that
question kind of gave me a little bit of angst because I'm like, damn, Perloff might be right about this. I've always worried about the Bills' defense, and I think there's a reason to think that will clearly be the Achilles heel if they don't win the Super Bowl.
Well, Joey
Damn.
Bosa felt like a bit of a desperation move, to be honest.
No
And
kidding.
And he couldn't really stop the run, although he made some plays late in the game. You do have a star, though, in Ed Oliver. He was very disruptive, kind of changed the game. So maybe it's not. I mean, here's the thing. Like you mentioned the AFC, like all those offenses are flawed. So I think you and I had this disagree. I think the NFC is better this year than the AFC. I know the star quarterbacks are in the AFC.
You might be right.
But the Eagles' defense is not good. They're working out. I think they called Manny to try and get him in a court. They're working out anybody possible. They're a player or two short, and they know it. Howie's been on fire. So I don't think the Eagles' defense is going to be great this year. The Rams, you're right. The Rams, there are these elite defenses, but are there offenses that can match Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson? Because I don't think Kansas City, right now, with all those hurt receivers, they definitely can't match them. The Chargers lost their left tackle, so I don't know that they're going to be, you're basically going to have a contrast of styles. You're going to have these superstar quarterbacks against these good defenses. Who do you choose in the end, the quarterback or the defense? I think the quarterback, right?
I don't know if that's true historically. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Would have thought that last year. I mean nobody put Jalen Hurts on the same level as Patrick Mahomes, and what happened? I mean, they got overwhelmed.
Michael Jordan did. Jalen Hurts might be that guy. But I would say Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes have a lot of rings. So the quarterback is a big deal. And come on, we're all just waiting for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but their teams may not be helping them out enough in terms of defense.
I thought the Ravens' defense just looked bad. What was that game? Sunday night? They just looked really bad. And then Kyle Hamilton is their best player. Is there a single game where he's not going to go out hurt ever?
Well, to be
Every
fair, he
single
came back
game
in
he
the
goes
game,
in and
though.
out. I know he came back with like a huge splint on his finger. He just cannot stay healthy.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. You got two things on the table for you. One, are you selling your Caleb Williams stock? And what do you think about Caleb and Ben Johnson as a pair after what you saw last night in the opener against the Vikings? Vikings win 27-24. And do the Ravens and Bills actually not have good enough defenses to truly be Super Bowl contenders? Damn. The offenses are, just fun to watch. Just amazing. But the defense,
looking like the Giants.
Well, the funny thing is the Ravens historically have this great defense, so you almost pencil it in, but they gave up 41 points.
It's true. Have you ever heard of a guy named Ray Lewis?
He was at the game.
Just found out about him a few days ago.
I was thinking about something Pearl said yesterday because you mentioned, name basically a good defender outside of Kyle Hamilton. And the problem is they actually have a lot of names, but they've not played up to their standard. Like they just got Jair Alexander. He was horrendous.
Yeah, the Bills picked on him.
Yeah, Marlon Humphrey, where was he? Like these guys that they've picked up that are supposed to be stars, I don't think they've really played up to their name recognition.
Well, there's a reason Jair Alexander was available.
Yeah, evidently.
He's a crazy person. That's more why than his play. Like he's made some big plays for the Packers.
He looked over. I don't know what was going on. He just was not moving the same way. Listen, like some of their better players are kind of off the garbage heap. Like not garbage heaps are all like Kyle Van Noy was floating around and was basically retired, and like he's a huge part of that defense. I don't think you think there are a lot of big names? Like look around at some of these elite defenses that Maggie named before. Like those got like young studs running around. The Ravens feel a little old.
And Roquan Smith was a huge star.
Yeah, I mean he's the highest paid inside linebacker in the NFL. I don't know. I see guys out there that I'm like, oh, I know these guys, and they're not doing anything. They don't look effective to me.
Jair Alexander was the one that got his ankle snatched by Keon Coleman at the end of the game, right?
I mean, how long have the Bills been trying to put together an effective secondary now?
Oh, most of my life.
Since I was in college.
Isn't Tre'Davious White back there?
Yeah, but he's hurt.
He's hurt.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, Maggie?
I mean,
No, they had like a 7th-round draft pick out there. When the broadcast is talking about when DeMar Hamlin can come back. Listen, we all love DeMar Hamlin, but when he's on the field, that's a liability.
What happened to DeMar?
Well, thankfully, DeMar's still with us. He's an inspiration for all of us, just not when he's playing football.
Why was he not playing football is what I meant. I know what happened to DeMar.
He's hurt. 888-710-4ISN. I don't know, Manny. Sometimes I'm not sure with you. 888-710-4476.
Fair enough.
Quickly, Jay is our pal in Nashville. Jay, you said you went to sleep on this game and you woke up thinking what?
No, I went to sleep saying they're going to lose this game. So, the Bears going to lose this game. I said, this is going to be Ravens part 2 right here. I went to sleep, woke up, it actually happened. You can see it coming a mile away. But first of all, Perloff knows if this was the Eagles, he'd be finding a way to put another Carson Wentz poster back on that wall.
Yeah.
He's the ultimate pessimist. His face is in the dictionary. But I think your option said Caleb. Caleb's problem, he went to Chicago. All highly sought after quarterbacks. I mean, just like Jay Cutler, who still lives here in Nashville, they don't do good in Chicago.
Yep.
People that's never been to Chicago don't understand Chicago. The players that do good in Chicago are the ones like the best running back ever. Walter Payton came out of an HBCU. Richard Dent came out of an HBCU here in Nashville, I believe, TSU. It's the players that come out of nowhere that do good in Chicago, because Chicago is such a blue collar city. You know what I mean? Chicago is like blue collar like no other city out there. But
I don't really get it, Jay. Like you're saying, they've been around for over 100 years. Like you've never had a 4,000-yard passer. You're saying it's sort of the style of the city.
It's just kind of like look at the pattern. Look at the pattern. Like to look at Caleb right now. Look at Jay Cutler. Every time they get this highly thought, even the quarterback coming out of Florida they had for a little bit, he was supposed to be like
Sexy Rexy.
Hotty. Yeah, some kind of hotty-totty quarterback. He didn't really do that good, even though they got to the Super Bowl or whatever. But the thing about it is just Chicago is such a blue-collar freaking city. I think the prima donnas that go there are not ready for that blue-collar tough love that they're going to get. I'm sure you can find Jay Cutler, and he'll probably tell you some stories about being in Chicago. My whole family's from there. Believe me, it's just sometimes the player has to match the vibe of the city. And if you go in there thinking you're going to be a savior, like, dude, you got another thing coming. But I think it still should be a lesson to all these quarterbacks coming out of college that want to be the first pick in the draft and all that. Okay, Mr. First Pick, go ahead. You know what I mean? This is what happens here.
Well, Jay, think about it. I mean, we got some reporting, and nobody has denied that this is true, that Caleb and his father were thinking about trying to get him out of Chicago. They wanted to be in Minnesota, which is, and then when Caleb took a visit to Chicago, he kind of got sold on the Bears, and Caleb said in his words he wasn't ready to blow up the city yet. And I always thought that comment was going to come back to haunt him. But Jay, you might be onto something. Brian Urlacher, right? University of New Mexico was not like
exactly
like this huge, as far as I recall, was his college stardom did not match obviously the heights that he hit in the pros. Another thing though about this though, Jay, is you were reminding me, EJ, what did Kyle Brandt was on with us last week? Big Bears fan. And he said something about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. I was like, what's the level of optimism? And he was like, very optimistic. But he said he wanted somebody, the coach needed to put him in line. Did he call him an NIL prima donna? What did he call him? Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it was a conversation about what was exciting to him about Ben Johnson was that early in the training camp, we saw videos of Ben Johnson coaching Caleb Williams really hard. And he said, that's right. Get at that NIL, I forgot it was prima donna or something along those lines. Yeah. Who's been pampered his entire life and been told he's the greatest thing in the world and hasn't really been coached. there is some element to this in terms of Caleb's attitude and his energy that I do think is off-putting to some of Chicago. Whether it matters, I don't know, but I do think it's a factor, clearly, because when Kyle Brandt said that, I was stunned.
I was too, because there's another read on this, which is Caleb had a terrible coaching staff last year. This is their read on it. Terrible coaching staff, and still, besides the sacks, which were historic, wasn't that much of an embarrassment in terms of his counting numbers by the end of the season, considering it's a Chicago Bears quarterback.
Well, yeah.
And the division was really hard.
I will say one thing about Caleb Williams last night. I know there's a lot of questions out there about his attitude. That dude took some big hits last night. He stood in there and got up. He made one throw that I really respect. It looked like he got concussed, and he somehow hit DJ Moore with a dime, 25 yards downfield. So at least you saw toughness. Like, I'm gonna take that as a positive. Like, is prima donna? I get it. It's a nail polish and all that stuff.
Yeah, the GQ spread after,
Yeah, the
not great season.
Yeah, I think that he's 23. He might be a tough kid. Like, even if he is a prima donna. And I totally agree. Like, that Ben Johnson coming out and saying the offense stinks again and again and again.
In preseason.
He wasn't lying.
Yeah, it turns out maybe he was just being honest about his team. 888-710-4ISN. Are you selling your Caleb Williams stock, number one? And number two, do the Ravens and Bills not have good enough defenses to win a Super Bowl? Let us know what you think about that. You can jump into the chat, youtube.com/InfinitySportsNet and twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network. Coming up, we got a couple things maybe worth a bit of an overreaction. We'll separate fact from fiction next. You guys want to bring up all the times the Bills failed? Yeah, I'm going to think about alcohol.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Pillows talking reckless, anti-AI rhetoric. Dick love and scared of cold like it's too pathetic. No bots in a battle, what's that aesthetic? You still using flip phones, bro, that's pathetic.
Well, man, he strolls in with a grin on his face. Yankee pinstripes all over the place. But his chest is out like he's on the beach. Moist pork yells, button up, you creep.
Well, the match was set, the crowd poured in. Daly versus Rube, and we all smell the wind. The band was tuned up, the mics were on, but old Peter Bellotti was nowhere to be found. We checked the lot twice. No car, no coffee, no bag of ice. Just an empty chair where he ought to be, while Daly served aces on live TV. Light never clocked in, not then, not now. While Daly was winning and the crowd yelled, wow. The first set served to the last sweet swing. Bellotti missed the whole dang thing. Yeah, the lights were bright and the banjos played, but Bellotti took another workday holiday. Backhand.
Trouble Sam took the mic in sequence, and Shame said, I'll win this contest, you'll remember my name. But the teleprompter froze, he pulled out a cheat sheet, lip sync and turn back time with 2 left feet. Oh, the crowd, they booed, the DJ cried, even Cher herself would have run to hide. If he could cheat in karaoke, he'd be the champ, but it's all hokey. With a glass of gin and a tambourine, he's the sluggiest diva you've ever seen.
Out in Colorado, skies painted blue. Dilly laced up, got something to prove. Ryan Rube was talking that big time game, but left that court with nothing but shame. 6'2", 6'3", it was quick, it was clean. Daly played like he was born on that green. Now he's sitting on top of that local chart, #1 with the champion's heart. So raise up a toast, give that man his due. Daly's the king, and the serve was true. Real down in the Rockies where the air runs thin, a showdown was brewing and the stakes ran big. Ryan Rube walked tall with a confident grin, but Daly showed up with a mean backspin. He came out swinging with a fire in his soul. 4 hands like thunder, had one simple goal: to take that crown, to claim his run. And when the dust cleared, he was number 1. Yeah, now Rackets, raise up your glass to the viewer named Daly, who kicked Maker class 6'2", 6'3". Yeah, he made it look fun. Now he's wearing the crown, the new number 1. But even with glory and pride in his name, some things on this show, well, they just never change. Shit still won't stream, no matter the plea. And Belaghi's out sick again mysteriously. Yeah. From Maggie's hop takes the Perloff's odd picks. They know talent when they see it. Daly's got the tricks. He ain't just a caller, he's a courtside star, climbing that ladder like a Nashville guitar. Now Ryan Rube somewhere just licking his wounds, while Daly's the king of those Colorado dunes. He's the buzz of the bracket, the ace of the day, while Peter Bellotti ghosted again, by the way.
Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. I am trying to fight the temptation to think that week 1 is the end-all and be-all. Felt like an extended preseason around the NFL to me, so I'm trying to be cautious. Maggie, I don't know if you have to play that mental warfare within your brain when you watch week 1 action.
I don't know. I feel like some things I can believe.
Like Shedeur Sanders' first preseason game?
That one I maybe bit on a little hard. But no, some of the stuff I think is just a continuation of certain things. Now, EJ's got a couple things we saw in week 1. We'll tell you whether this is an overreaction or whether it's fair game. Go ahead, EJ.
All right, so let's begin with one Daniel Jones, who was really good in his first game with the Indianapolis Colts. So, Daniel Jones, his career is rejuvenated. Overreaction or fair game?
Oh, God.
Fair game. Shane Steichen is the man. The Colts quarterback. Nobody has a quarterback who escape to the right and throw the ball downfield like a Shane Steichen offense. This is going to be good. We're talking 9-8, 10-7. It's not going to look like it did against Miami, which was so easy to move up and down the field. But I think this is going to be a good fit. And it just reminded us. I think we knew this coming in. It's a no-brainer to go with Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I'm really bummed I didn't think of Indiana Jones. Damn. Yeah. I heard Berman do that last night. And I was like, darn it. I wish I'd thought that up. This is an overreaction. Miami was no-show. The next 3 defenses that the Colts are going to play, Denver, Tennessee, who their defense looked good, I thought, and the Rams. Like, that's your next 3 defenses. That's going to be a much different assignment than whatever Miami was putting out on the field. So this is an overreaction. Don't worry, Manny. Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones will come back to earth. Who's next, DJ?
Good job,
All right, let's stick with the Giants theme a little bit. The Giants scored only 6 points in their first game with Russell Wilson under center. Now is the time to start Jaxson Dart. Is that an overreaction or fair game?
No, that's 100% fair game. I was calling for Jaxson Dart at halftime, and I wasn't just doing that for clicks. I really believed it. Russell Wilson is not going to be able to give you a lot. Jaxson Dart, there's never a perfect time for a rookie to get inserted into the starting role. So sometimes you just have to rip the Band-Aid, Pearl, and I would do that with Dart.
Yummy.
So are they waiting for Andrew Thomas to come back? Isn't that what everybody's saying? The left
then
tackle.
He'll be out in another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
These guys cannot stay healthy.
Thank you, Margaret.
I like this matchup. I thought Dallas's pass rush was so ineffective that it'd be a good start for Jaxson Dart. But I get the logic because then they got the Chiefs who Steve Spagnuolo would be a problem. And then they got the Chargers, who defense looked pretty nasty too. So maybe I go week. If you're really trying to save Darden, I think that's what they're doing. Maybe week 5 at New Orleans. But I'm doing devil's advocate here. I definitely would have had Darden for week 2.
All right. And also, is it time? Well, the Lions, rather, they had a tough week 1 game against the Packers here.
Yep.
It's time to panic for the Detroit Lions. Is that fair game or an overreaction?
100% fair game. That just the offense, the run game, where did it go? What happened to my guy Jahmyr Gibbs? I'm in total panic mode about the Lions.
Yeah, I went back and watched that game. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything yesterday, or Sunday rather, and it just does not look the same, and you're 100% right. It's about the run. Now, maybe the Green Bay Packers defense is just so lights out that it was a bad litmus test for Detroit, but this just is not having the same magic, and Jared Goff was not the quick acting, quick decision making, and I think it's all because the run game was not effective.
Well, I think also a little complimentary football. You can't let the Packers just easily score on their first 2 drives. So you're already down 2 touchdowns, and the Lions like to establish a run, and they were already in a hole that they had to drop back Jared Goff, who then was getting pressured immediately. The whole thing was a mess.
All right, there you go. Some overreaction, some fair game. Andrew Bogusch is here with the latest and greatest. What's up, Bogusch?
Guys, the Vikings' fourth quarter rally last night in Chicago began with 2 touchdown throws from J.J. McCarthy. It ended with J.J.'s legs.
He's at the 14 of the Bears. Thielen in motion. Shotgun snap to the quarterback. He fakes it. He'll run it himself. Over the right tackle, the 10. Got a block at the 5. Sideline, pylon, touchdown! J.J. McCarthy with a touchdown run of 14 yards.
Kevin Harlan on Westwood 1. McCarthy nearly flawless in that fourth quarter. 6 of 8, 101 total yards, and those 3 scores, turning a 17-6 hole into a 27-24 win in his debut a year after he was drafted. Caleb Williams and the Bear offense started fast but faded, adding only 10 points to an opening drive TD. Williams' final line was 210 yards, 1 touchdown pass, and another on the ground.
I'm calling both games.
Poor Mike McDaniel, meanwhile, can't get a day closer to death in peace. The morning after a 33-8 dud in Indy, Rex Ryan piled on ESPN.
What the hell is he talking about? Maybe he's on a different level, McGenius guy, whatever the hell he is, nerd boy. But anyway, their team has no respect for the coach. They play like that. They're like, come on, man, get us a dang guy in here. Where's the physicality of this team? What did you say?
They're soft. They're soft.
They're soft. I'm with you on that.
All right, so if you're scoring at home,
Let's
Mike
go to eat a
McDaniel
damn snack.
is too soft. I guess too dumb with the McGenius and Nerd Boy references, and too small to be a good head coach.
Heads are another day closer to death.
Yeah.
He's got a lot working against him.
Yeah.
Can I make a movie analogy for who I see Rex Ryan as?
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.
The floor is yours.
He is Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. Because I feel like he's calling him Nerd Boy.
1 or 2.
So Ogre eventually joins the Nerds. He joins the beta in 2.
Yeah, he does.
Ogre
when they go to Miami for spring break. Guys, look it up.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
It doesn't hold up well. I don't really want to endorse this film anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I was wondering, would Rex Ryan eventually become a nerd? No, that was a nerd boy. It was such a kind of a bullying statement. Not a surprise from a Ryan brother.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump you. I thought you were going to say Biff from Back to the Future. He's got a lot of Biff in him.
Oh, that's a lot meaner than Ogre.
Well, and McDaniel's like Marty McFly, I don't know if he's friends with a nuclear physicist. As John Mulaney points out, that they never explain how they're friends. Why is a high school senior friends with this disgraced nuclear physicist? We never get that.
Well, why is the Miami Dolphins head coach look like he was just dealing on the South Beach? Like, what is his look? Like, why is he wearing these massive sunglasses and ripping vapes on the sideline and wearing his sort of capri pants? What are those?
You should
The whole thing doesn't make sense.
Look at Manny.
Yeah, so I actually did a deep dive, which I should have done before. I was like, wow, because there was a controversy last week. We didn't talk a lot about it, but Ryan Clark on ESPN called out our buddy Peter Schrager because he wasn't a player. So I'm like, is this Rex calling out Mike McDaniel? But Mike McDaniel was a player.
He played at Yale.
So he didn't really play at Yale. He was on the team.
Well, what are you, Pablo Torre?
Yeah, I did a Pablo Torre last night.
Investigative?
2 years of JV, and then I don't think he had any really catches. I got to double check that. He wasn't like a big player at Yale.
But if he got a jersey on the varsity, that's good enough for me. That means you were good in high school.
Yeah, is that good enough to counter Rex Ryan's nerd boy argument?
Where did Rex play? Northwest, East,
Southwest
State?
Oklahoma. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, that was my thought. I was like, does Rex Ryan call out a former Yale wide receiver? Like, which was a better program? But I don't know. McDaniel might have just been
Who's got more Pulitzer Prize winners?
The fact that McDaniel did 2 years of JV before he made the varsity, I don't think he was the next Ivy League Jerry Rice. He was a player.
Well, technically, I mean, even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had to play on the JV. Now that was
Ishabosh,
the rules.
the guy on the Bengals from Princeton.
Right. But he's the next Jerry Rice of the Ivy League.
Ivy League Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice didn't play in the Ivy League, BTW.
This goes to show you, once you lose, all the things people loved about you, they start to hate about you.
Yep. Yeah.
Because everybody loved that he looked cool with these glasses, and he was saying this weird stuff, and he looked like a nerd. Like, oh, look at this. And, oh, he's so nice to Tua Tagovailoa.
False.
Now he's nerd boy.
Yep.
Great morning.
Yeah, you jump on the guy when he's losing.
Yeah.
Totally. And also, I mean, Rex Ryan, like, he's funny, entertaining dude. He needed a little more nerd and a little less biff,
Yeah,
you know? I mean, he
damn
put
snack.
his starting quarterback back into a preseason game and he got hurt. Like, that should disqualify you from ever criticizing any head coach ever again.
Yeah.
But he's funny on TV.
Wait, Rex Ryan, the Bills head coach?
I don't even want to talk about that. Way to steal from the organization, Coach.
I should add this. Yesterday in Miami, I think the local guys were trying to be a little nicer to McDaniel than Rexy was in the morning, simply asking him for some of the positives from Sunday's loss in Indy. And here's the answer that they got.
I think, to be honest, like there's,
Oh boy.
I think the positive is that that was a miserable experience.
Hand to God, that was not edited. That is raw, live. What he
No,
said.
that's AI.
No. He said 100. He's messing with the process. He does this all the time.
That is.
Yeah. He thinks these are the dumbest things in the history of the world. What was? Yeah.
Well, again, when you're
To
winning.
be honest, like there's, I think the positive is that that was a miserable experience.
We all know what the positive was. That they lost the game, but they are 1 day closer to death, which was his famous offseason line.
What did Xavier Howard said was now with the Colts, but was with Miami? Said that
Because we're another day closer to death.
he got Tua into panic mode.
Yeah.
You get it to it. Tua's got to throw it quickly.
Yeah, one read. Once you take away his one read, it's panic time.
Yeah, come to think of it, maybe they shouldn't have paid that guy. Yeah, because if he stays back there too long, he's going to get hurt.
That was a miserable experience.
Well, listen, if Tua does get hurt, I feel like there's a white knight coming to save this whole situation.
Zach Wilson.
Mr. Zachariah Wilson.
Yes, I was right for once.
Former Jets quarterback. You're going to have one former Jets quarterback winning the MVP in Pittsburgh, another saving the Miami Dolphins.
Comeback player of the year.
Then you have one throwing for 5,000 yards in Las Vegas. I think he's a Geno.
Yeah.
Who else?
Darnold in Seattle.
Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold had a slow start. But
Hey,
Darnold...
Can Ryan Fitzpatrick win an Emmy?
Chad Pennington is leading his best life, I'm sure.
Mark Sanchez still around?
Sanchez is good on games. I like him.
He's moving up the rankings there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't wait for Zach Wilson to start games, and then all of a sudden we go to Mike McDaniel presser, and they sound...
That was a miserable experience.
Bogues, I mean, I don't know how you're going to top that.
Yeah, I'll do a quick check of the AL wildcard race. We all love that.
That was a miserable experience.
The Mariners down the Cardinals 4-2, keeping their game-and-a-half lead on the Rangers, who were 6-0 winners over Milwaukee. The Guardians remain 2.5 behind the Mariners for that last spot with their fourth straight win. 10-2 over the Royals. And the Atlanta Dream, an 87-62 beating of the Sun last night. They've won 5 in a row and are once again alone in the 2 seed for the playoffs that begin this weekend. Guys, back to you.
Bogues, thanks so much. We got even more updates and more details, if that's even possible, about the Micah Parsons trade. There's even more to the story that you have to know. We'll bring it to you next.
That was a miserable experience.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Apple
Daly's out sick again mysteriously. Yeah. There's a storm rolling in on the pickleball court. Daly showed up in jorts and a cut-off shirt. Pierre walked in with a monogram grip, talking about spinning angles and wrist flick tips. Daly just smirked, said bless your heart, then served that ball like a moonshine dart. Pierre's got a name that belongs in Versailles, but he's getting schooled by a dude who eats fries. Daly just smirked, said bless your heart, then served that ball like a moonshine dart. Pierre's got a name that belongs in Versailles, but he's getting schooled by a dude who eats fries. Daly's gonna wreck Pierre, say it loud. Gonna humble that paddle prince in front of the crowd. You can't beat grit with your country club flair, cause ain't nothing fancy about winning fair and square. So sip your latte, Pierre, sit in your chair, cause Daly's bringing smoke and he ain't gonna share. Pierre's wearing wristbands, got strategy charts. Daly's just playing with pure backwoods heart. He don't need top spin, he don't need grace, just a greasy breakfast and a steel game face. He dunks, he smashed that serve. Pierre backed off, didn't have the nerve. They say it's just a game, but not to Daly. He's playing for pride and a biscuit with gravy. Pierre sounds like a perfume. Daly sounds like a man who chops wood at noon. Daly's gonna wreck Pierre on this day. That snooty spin shot's getting blown away. You bring your finesse, he'll bring the boom and send that pickleball straight to your ballroom. So next time you serve, let's say a prayer, cause Daly's coming and he don't fight fair. Pierre's probably still Googling what's a dinker. Shots getting blown away. You bring your finesse, he'll bring the bomb and send that pickleball straight to your ballroom. So next time you serve, I say prayer, cause Daly's coming and he don't fight fair.
2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Micah Parsons' debut with the Packers looked pretty good. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Even in limited snaps, pressured Jared Goff when they were in the red zone, kind of baited him into an interception, then the big sack at the end of the game. But even beyond that, like went back and looked at it yesterday, there were other times when Micah Parsons, again, 29 snaps only, but was making Jared Goff feel really uncomfortable getting pressure. And by the way, also made a big tackle against Dave Montgomery. And I was like, and there he is against the run. Everyone said Michael Parsons is a sieve against the run, and he has been. I understand that's not his forte.
Michael Parsons.
But it looks like this trade is going to be, at least from the first game, is going to be a big winner here for the Green Bay Packers. Now, we got even more reporting, and something that caught your eye, that the Philadelphia Eagles called the Dallas Cowboys about Micah Parsons. It's a ballsy thing to do, considering you're in the division. But according to Jay Glazer, they offered more than even what Green Bay offered.
Yeah, so I was watching 1250, getting my fantasy football injury updates from Jay. Jay said it was a little vague. He said, same thing as the Packers, 2026 first-round pick, 2027 first-round pick. Then a third-round pick and a fifth-round pick. And then, and I quote, other stuff. So what was the other stuff? Because I got to tell you, Kenny Clark there's not that big a difference between a third-round pick and a fifth-round pick and Kenny Clark. Like, Kenny Clark's an effective defensive tackle that they desperately need. I think that's basically the same package to me. Like, what's the big deal?
Well, it depends. I mean, Jerry Jones was very big on the fact that the trade would net you 3 players, but could be as many as 5 players.
Yeah, but a third and a fifth. What? We're talking about Micah Parsons.
I don't know. I mean, 5th round pick is a flyer. 3rd round, you might be expecting depth pieces there. Yeah. You're expecting, I mean, that's how you build a team, right? Is you hit on some of these later draft picks.
Yeah, but Kenny Clark, we spent a week of Kenny Clark hype. And during the game, they told us that the Lions were more scared, were happier that Kenny Clark wasn't there than Micah Parsons was there. What happened?
How absurd did that sound after they lost the game by 3 scores?
Yeah, I know, but I bought the Kenny Clark Kool-Aid. Kenny Clark actually didn't even play that well until the end of the game after the rain delay in Dallas. But I think actually the Packers offer is a little better until you define the other things. If Philadelphia was not going to offer anybody to help with the run, then why do you want? It's probably going to be the last pick in the 3rd round, the 5th round. I think the Packers offer is a little better, but you're right, though. Like Howie, what did you expect? You think the Cowboys wanted to play Micah twice? I'm surprised the Cowboys even wanted to play him once. Then Jerry said we tried to trade him for the AFC. There were no offers.
Yeah, which I find hard to believe because it seemed like pretty much you understood now after the fact what the going rate was, right? It was 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle.
But it was signing that big contract that teams didn't want to do. It was all about the money. Like, for example, your Bills, I'm sure they would want Micah Parsons, but I don't know if they either had the $46 million a year or wanted to invest that.
Are you kidding me?
I'm sure. Why would the Chiefs why wouldn't all the contenders go in on that? Why would the Chiefs go in on this? I don't know if they have the room.
Yeah, 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I'm very curious now. The Green Bay Packers were already very interesting to me. They just got a whole lot more interesting this year because I'm looking at the Detroit Lions, who they just beat. I said 3 scores, 2 scores. Detroit scored late. You have the Detroit Lions, who may be, at a bit of a crossroads here, because they lost their offensive coordinator, who wasn't fantastic last night with the Bears, and Caleb Williams. They lose to the Vikings. But J.J. McCarthy also for the Vikings looked bad through 3 quarters, then turned it up in the 4th quarter. And you have the Bears, which is definitely going to be a work in progress. This could be the perfect lane and the perfect avenue for Green Bay if they play this right.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like Aiden Hutchinson was back. Aiden McNeil's not back. So Detroit's still banged up from last year, that crazy rash of defensive injuries. I agree with all that. Not only that, I love some of the other Packers defensive players. Edgerrin Cooper was a guy I was talking about all last year. He's a stud. I love Quay Walker. I know can be a bonehead at times.
Yep.
But and then Xavier McKinney is really good. He also made a dumb play in that game. But he's really, really good. Sorry, former Giant Manny. But yeah, the Packers are loaded. And by the way, offensively, they're loaded too. Jordan Love looked really, really good.
Yeah, remember on Thursday, the confidence was really high after the Dallas Cowboys hung in there with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Jalen Carter got ejected in the game, obviously, so it changed things. But, EJ, you were the one really pointing out mostly that Dallas just let this slip away. You know, the Eagles served up the game for Dallas on a silver platter. They could not take advantage. They're going to play against Manny's New York Giants this upcoming weekend. I think the positivity could end up really still vibing here. I do not think they made the right decision. They should have absolutely kept Micah Parsons, in my opinion. But it's not going to stop maybe some Dallas positivity if they can really put a thumping on the Giants. Manny's Cowboys.
Wait, I mean, well, like, don't discount. Wasn't there, Manny, a Giants game where they came within 28 points of the Cowboys a couple years ago? That was encouraging.
Was it a couple of years ago? It might have been a decade ago.
I mean, if the Cowboys don't win this like 35-0 like they usually do, then it's panic time. Or if they lose, sell the team, as you said in the offseason. Like, this is a game they don't just win; they blow out the Giants in this spot most times. Dak is a big time winner in the regular season.
I don't think the Giants have defeated Dak Prescott. I could be wrong about this, but I think the last time the Giants beat Dak was his rookie year.
Yeah,
Dak. No, that when what's his face destroyed his leg.
Dak owns the entire NFC.
Yeah,
East.
I don't know who
he
it was, but
owns the Eagles. You could see it before the rain delay. He was just ridiculous against the Eagles.
Who was the guy? He went to Rutgers. He ended Tom Brady's Foxborough career with a pick six. He's broadcasting now.
When the McCourties?
No,
he was never a Giant.
The other guy.
Oh,
it's bothering me.
I'll look it up. You keep talking.
Anyway, 888-710-4ISN, 888-710.
Logan Ryan.
Thank you.
Logan Ryan, yes, New Jersey guy.
That's the dude. Interesting. It's just that this, we asked if this Micah Parsons trade is going to be a shadow over the Dallas Cowboys all season long, and I said yes. And I think that because the Packers element of this, the aspect of it, and the fact that if the Packers can find a lane here, and if they do look this good, and let's say they are a deep playoff team or a Super Bowl team, I know that Cowboy fans, you'll try to talk yourself into, no, this was the right move for reasons X, Y, and Z. It's just not. And I saw a little bit.
Wait.
Yeah.
Why do you say it's not the right move for the Cowboys?
Because I don't think they're a better football team. And I don't think it's possible to do this half rebuild, half go for it, like pull you in two different directions. I think that's schizophrenic for a football team. I think it sends a wrong message to the locker room. Like I think it makes it too easy for guys to throw and wave the white flag on a season once they hit some adversity.
And what makes you think this is a half rebuild?
Because they wanted draft picks for next year. They could have drafted them. Yeah. They could have traded them before this year's draft and actually got something beyond Kenny Clark.
Yeah, I just feel like this is the kind of move the Cowboys have to make. Like, listen, they weren't going anywhere with Micah Parsons. That's my only point. Like, maybe they win 11 games and get killed in the wild card game. I just don't. I don't think. I think this could be a win-win trade. I mean, it'll be hard because the draft pick will be so low. But I don't. Do you think that Cowboys were making any noise? Did you predict them to make the playoffs with Micah Parsons or without him?
No, but here's the deal. I saw a lot of this on social media, so this is not my original thought. I'm not going to take credit for it. But watching Derrick Henry just demolish the Bills through 3.5 quarters of that game, one of the reasons why Jerry said they could not sign Derrick Henry was why. They needed money for Micah Parsons.
Yeah, but again, sunk costs. I'm not sure it matters. Like, I'm not sure that's going to be a bad move for the Cowboys. Because what's the scenario? Like, what's going to happen with Micah Parsons there? Are we just going to see them go to the playoffs again and lose? Like, isn't that we've seen it.
Well, but you're also not tanking for a quarterback. Like, this is what I'm talking about, just being in the middle in this weird area, because you can say, what the hell's the point? They'll make the playoffs. They'll lose to the San Francisco 49ers or Green Bay or whatever you want to say. But then you're not doing the other thing, which would be actually trying to build for the future. Instead, you're paying your quarterback $60 million. You're paying CeeDee Lamb the second highest as a wide receiver.
Yeah, you're desperate to get out of at least a Dak contract. CD you probably want to keep, but
Dak's contract extension kicks in this year.
I think they have an out next year. I think they're looking at 27.
I thought this was at least 2 years with him, $60 million.
Right, this year and next year, and I think then they have an out.
But so you're paying a quarterback $60 million, yet you're not going for it?
Going for what?
Trying to be competitive.
Yeah, you are trying to be competitive, but
are you? You could have just let Micah Parsons play out this year, by the way. I don't think he was sitting out the entire season. The 2 first-round picks would have been there at the end of the year. It's so schizophrenic. Like, it's just bad business.
I mean, listen, they should have definitely traded him in March. I'm not going to lie with you about that, but I don't think Micah Parsons is a huge needle mover for the Cowboys because he hasn't been.
which is funny. Well, but again, you look at the advanced metrics, he kind of has been. They're a much better defense with him on the field than him not on the field.
That's so funny. I don't remember, like, what did he do in the NFC title game?
Oh, I love this this is all
they
come
weren't
down to
gonna
Micah
win.
Parsons. This is only his fault that
But
the
Maggie,
Cowboys
you-
have underachieved.
You know the Cowboys were not going to win the Super Bowl with Micah Parsons this year. So
They're not winning with Dak Prescott. They got problems all over the place. Micah
Yes.
was was part of the solution, and they got him out of town.
this might have been the first step in a rebuild, which they need.
888-710-4ISN. Let's go. Coming up next, let's talk Chiefs.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
McCarthy out of the shotgun, milking a 3-point lead. It is a run-pass option. McCarthy takes off to the right, to the 10. Stutter steps at the 5. Touchdown! He's J.J. McCarthy.
The Vikings Radio Network. That didn't mean a whole heck of a lot through the first 3 quarters, but in the last quarter, J.J. McCarthy turned into Superman. 3 straight touchdown drives. They were trailing by 11 points heading into the fourth. They end up winning this game 27-24. Kevin O'Connell, Pearl, now 6-1 against the Bears and beats Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams with that pair making their debut.
Oh, okay. Is this so you could get a shot? Like usually, like Kevin O'Connell beats Ben Johnson. Face it, you're after Ben Johnson.
I'm after him. No.
But by the way, actually,
I'm not,
can
but
ask you a question
I was not very impressed with the debut. That's
well,
fair.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
fair.
it's his first game. I totally understand what you're saying. He's an interesting guy because he looks like so kind of intense. I could tell he kind of tried to dial it back a little bit last night. He was trying to stay calm and keep Caleb calm. Because I read all these stories about him. Apparently, he's just a madman behind the scenes, just like kind of a yeller.
Yeah. Isn't every coach probably?
No, there's definitely styles. Like Kevin O'Connell is definitely not. Okay. Yeah, his style. Ben Johnson is the rip, get after you, where a lot of coaches you build you up. So I do think you have to admit a quarter through it looked amazing with Caleb Williams.
Like a drive through. The first drive, I thought, looked amazing. And then things started to show a little bit of cracks of the unraveling here when they followed up the 10-play touchdown drive to start. Vikings go 3 and out. J.J. McCarthy doesn't know what he's looking at. And the Bears' next couple possessions, punt, turnover on downs when they should have kicked a field goal, punt, field goal, end of the half.
But they were still moving the ball. The second half, they didn't move it at all.
Yeah, well, okay.
They were getting first downs. I think there was a lot positive around Caleb Williams. If you ignore the expectations and you looked at it, you might look at that field and say, "Ooh, that guy's very promising. He's incredibly mobile, has a crazy arm." He needs a run game to help a little bit. You're not going to get any easy looks downfield if you're in 3rd and 8 on every single drive.
Yeah, well, I'll give you that. No, the run game kind of disappeared a little bit in the third quarter. It was almost like the team got kind of motivated from the fact that they honored the 85 Bears, which they weren't on the field to see anyway. But it almost felt a little bit like, DeAndre Swift maybe saw a little of the Walter Payton highlights or something like that. But it didn't last very long. And the Vikings defense was fantastic in the second half. I guess here's my thing about Ben Johnson. I was not that impressed with the debut. And he'll grow on the job, and that's fine. It has nothing to do with his demeanor or anything like that. I just don't know if this is square peg, round hole when it comes to Caleb Williams. I think that a great head coach takes all the positives that a player has and accentuates those. And I thought you saw some of that with Caleb for sure, but we did still see a lot of holding on to the ball and things like they haven't corrected everything, which is fine. It's a total work in progress.
How do you know that's not Caleb?
It might be, but I watched Ben Johnson, who we don't have a ton of track record with in the NFL, but obviously made his bones with the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff, who is just like the maybe complete polar opposite to Caleb Williams. And so, yeah, maybe you meet in the middle, but that could be a little painful. Like there could be some serious growing pains, and it's not necessarily me who put the expectations on the Bears this year. They put the expectations on themselves. Caleb said 4,000-yard passer, wants to complete 70% of his passes. And it's fine to show us your vision board, but at the same time, if you come out and look like you did last night with Brian Flores really confusing you through most of that game, then, you're going to look like you're failing.
Well, Kevin O'Connell is considered one of the best offensive coaches in the league, and his first-round quarterback either would throw the ball right into the lineman's hands or not be able to get the snap off for 3/4 of that game.
Yeah, it was
Does that
rough.
mean Kevin O'Connell wasn't doing a good job?
No, but look, what did the fourth quarter show you? I mean, the fourth quarter,
Yeah, what did
J.J.
by the
McCarthy
way,
was
did you
making
see
his...
Caleb's last drive?
Well, okay, but I also think the Vikings at that point were up 10 with about 3.5 minutes left to go. I thought the Vikings just sort of relaxed a little too much on that final drive. We could talk about that. But J.J. McCarthy's making his first start ever in the NFL.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams had all of last year. Granted, the coaching staff may not have been good, but they both look kind of confused for a lot of the game out there. But J.J. settled in the fourth quarter, which a lot of these NFL games come down to the fourth quarter, Pearl.
Confused because Brian Flores was messing up the looks. And by the way, I think even a veteran would have been confused because I've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
What happened, too, is the Bears' offense was not moving and their defense got exhausted. And that made life so much easier for J.J. McCarthy. So, honestly, like, if somehow the Bears had won this game, I think you would have been ripping. You wouldn't have ripped Kevin O'Connell. I just think that I think this came down to like a whole team game. I don't think it was coaching. I think there were a lot of things. I think, honestly, the defensive offensive line battles, the Vikings started to really, really win those decisively. And this Bears revamp offensive line, they kept putting this graphic up with Joe Thuney and all this money they paid and all these first-round picks. I don't know if that all worked, Mag.
Yeah, some major penalties, too, at bad times against the offensive line. 12 penalties in all for the Bears on the evening, which was a lot. We asked you on X, are you buying or selling your Caleb Williams stock today? 69% of you say you are selling it.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought you might like that. Another question for you. So Kevin Warren, who's the president of the Bears, also sent a letter to season ticket holders, I believe it was yesterday, telling them that the stadium in Arlington Heights, a Chicago suburb, is a go, and it's going to be a domed stadium. Our question for you on X, do you have a problem with the Bears building an indoor stadium? Right now, no. Narrowly edging out yes. 51% say no.
That's so weak. A dome suburban stadium for Chicago. You have it right downtown. I mean, come on. I am not a fan of I must be honest, I don't like suburban stadiums, and I definitely don't like domes for NFC North teams.
Not a fan of Highmark Stadium, Perloff.
Yeah, Foxborough. I mean, there's a lot of them are in the suburbs though, partially because of politics, right?
Well, I mean, being in the suburbs of Buffalo, that's like, what's the difference? I mean, that's like, you can't put Foxborough is basically Providence, Rhode Island. Like, that's
kinda.
just stupid.
One road in, one road out of Foxborough.
I mean, I think New York is the worst setup in the entire country.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, well, you can blame your pal James Dolan for that. They would have put a stadium right here in New York City. Saying.
You sat next to him in a game.
Over there.
True. Sorry. Love you, James Dolan.
It's the New York Knicks, damn it.
But I just think that it was beautiful last night. It was an incredible TV product. It's meant to be played outside.
September.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
I know.
That's the other thing. If Caleb Williams, if they can't win these ones when the weather is perfect, how are things going to go when the weather gets real nasty?
But, I mean, I didn't come up with this, but I don't have the data at my fingertips. There is something to be said. When it gets cold out, it seems like the teams that play outdoors in the cold weather have an advantage. Because, listen, Tua, I don't think he's getting deep in the playoffs this year. But do you think the Miami Dolphins are ever going to get through the AFC playoff field? Do you think that Lamar is not suffering? I mean, Baltimore's a little cold itself, but it's not a great example. But I think weather, like Kansas City knows how to play in cold weather, choppy games. And then they get these dome teams in there soft, like Peyton. Like Tom Brady played in Foxborough. Peyton Manning played in Indy. Who is better in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean,
Bill Belichick.
I think there was a couple different reasons.
Apparently, that's not the thinking anymore, EJ.
Very true.
You're on an island if you're giving Belichick any shred of credit. Clearly, he was just standing around watching Tom Brady warm up.
Yeah, I mean, they had Tony Dungy. Come on.
You have all those exceptions. Like you have the Rams beating the Bengals. That's a warm weather team beating a cold weather team. Like
beating the Bengals. The Bengals were 10-7 and stuck in the playoffs. That was.
I'm just saying, if you want me to poke holes in that argument, I can do it.
So can I? The Giants have stunk for 10 years, and they still play in New York.
Jets been playing outside for 15 years. They haven't made the playoffs.
Well, okay. All right. If you look at this century, I'll bet you the cold weather teams have won 70% of the Super Bowls.
That's because of Brady and Mahomes, just a period. They've just won so much.
Right,
and Brady won in Tampa, and he loved it. He's like, I wish I had been a warm weather quarterback his whole career.
Went to Green Bay and kicked Aaron Rodgers' ass. You know, he threw three picks right now.
Yeah.
That's another quarterback that won in a cold weather city.
Yeah. It was sort of the critique of Jared Goff that he's great in warm weather, but once the playoffs start, he's got to go outside. It's going to be tough.
And he attacked that narrative on Quarterbacks, the Netflix series.
Yeah, he did. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476, asking for whether or not you're buying or selling your Caleb Williams stock after what we saw last night. Good on the first drive. Dude's got talent. Like, let's not, completely throw the baby out the bathwater here. The problem is this the right head coach quarterback combination? Adrian in Maryland, not pleased with me over something I said last hour, which was just going back over the Green Bay tape against the Lions and just how good Micah Parsons looked in limited snaps is going to make the Cowboys eat their words on Micah Parsons. What's up, Adrian?
Hey, Mag. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in you. And I think, like Perloff said, I think it could be a win-win for both clubs. Green Bay was basically a 1 or 2 player away. Dallas is probably 5 or 6 players away. So the trade they made fills some holes. They can get some holes with the first rounder. In Green Bay, they get the pass rusher they probably needed. As far as you said, there's a cloud over Dallas's head. If there was a cloud over their head, they would have got blown out in Philadelphia. I mean, straight blown out. They would have been thinking about it. They're over it. I don't think the media is over it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I guess it's, you guys are going to
Yeah,
get
but
clicks
Adrian,
from
do
that.
you not agree with me that if let's say the Packers, let's say worst case scenario for the Cowboys, the Packers win the Super Bowl, you're telling me that's not going to become, there's not going to be people who are chapped in Dallas over that?
No, we're chapped, but we weren't going to win the Super Bowl with them.
Yeah, so that's Jerry's fault. That's
better.
Jerry's problem. The fact that you have to trade away your best player or one of your best players because you're that far away from the Super Bowl is not Micah Parsons' fault.
Maggie, only reason I'm upset with it is because, like you said, he should have did it in the spring. If he did it in the spring, it's fine. And I think they did talk about it in the spring, but they just didn't pull the trigger then. So
Depends who you
the
talk
only
to.
fault.
Adrian, we were trying to get the answer on that. Depends who you talk to. If you talk to Jerry Jones, he says, yes, this was all like, we've been thinking about trading him this whole time, and you guys are a bunch of rubes for believing anything different. Then we talked to Diana Rossini, who's pretty plugged in on the Cowboys and everyone else, who said Jerry had to be basically brought into a room 3 weeks ago and told, hey, we got to start really thinking about trade packages, like for real, if this is going to go down.
Yeah.
So depends who you talk to, Adrian.
Crushed.
Well, if I'm the GM, I basically would have made him play this year out and then traded him in the spring and got your draft picks then in 2026. Jerry's he's senile and he's kind of slow at these. He's slow at these. He's a little slow at these days. But if I'm the GM, I make him play this 2025 out. If he doesn't want to play, he doesn't get any money, he loses another year. So that was the thing. But like I said, Dallas is over it. The team is over it. I don't know if the media and everybody else, the hype and stuff is over it, but the team is over it. They're going to play okay. I'm going to say 8, 9, maybe 10 wins, and then they'll build for next year.
Well, Adrian, you and I are aligned on some things there, which is I would have also had Micah Parsons play out the year.
It does seem like the locker room does not care. I mean, that all indications are that is true. And by the way, there are a lot of teams who are, this contract's risky. It's a lot of money for Micah Parsons. So it's not, if he was cost assured, then fine. But I don't think this, even if they win the Super Bowl, I don't think Dallas fans are going to, it's not quite the same as Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, the only thing is about the Packers are not like a risky organization, unless you count drafting quarterbacks in the first round and having them sit as something that's risky. I think some people look at that as saying it's so sound what they do. They seem risk averse to me, and they're the ones who were belly up to the bar. Please let us pay Micah Parsons and overpay, quite frankly, because if you just go by average annual value, what was TJ Watt was like 42, and Micah got 47. I mean,
so yeah, I think the Packers there's a little bit of desperation here. I mean, it's been a while. They've been in the playoffs a lot and have nothing to show for it.
Let's go to Stan, who's in Westport, Connecticut, wants to weigh in on the Giants quarterback situation, which is normally not that interesting, but it is now because Jaxson Dart. Yeah, Stan, you know what I'm talking about. Jaxson Dart at least might give you a fighting chance. Russell Wilson looked overmatched in the opener.
Yep, for sure. There's no confidence there. But before I say about the Giants, I got to shout out to Pearl. Great call on the outdoor stadium. I distinctly remember the 85 Bears against the Rams in the championship game at Soldier, and the Rams were in the tunnel pregame, and they were showing the long shot, and they were, like, jumping around, like, rubbing their arms. I mean, they were done, like, before they even walked on the field. It was
but
crazy.
Stan, who did the Bears beat in the Super Bowl that year? New England.
Yeah, but that was indoors.
No, but New England was a cold weather team you would think would be gritty. I think the Bears were just beating anybody.
No. The advantage is
I mean, listen, that's one of the greatest teams of all time for sure. But you know,
but the advantage is when you draw the warm weather team into a cold weather.
No,
right.
I get that, but we're talking about the Super Bowl.
That's
Most
it.
often
That's
they're
the
in
point.
warm
Yeah,
weather.
exactly.
Right. But you get them in the title game.
Got it. Okay.
You want them to fear coming to your house.
Got it.
That's all it is. But anyway, look, with the Giants, this is a crazy thing because there is no confidence from coaching and management in this team. And Russell Wilson's a great example. They only allowed him short drops because they knew that they would have a problem with the OL, yet they did all these things and brought the same OL back. So it's like the insanity of it all is just mind-boggling. Then I was thrilled when they signed Jameis because I think Jameis is like a Mayfield-esque resurrection project, perhaps. The guy's had 38 games in his career of over 100 QB rating. I mean, he can play. The point is, a couple days after that, they bring in Russell Wilson. I'm like, what's going on here? And now everybody here is pining, begging, demanding that Dart come in like next week. And I think that is the most insane notion in history because, first of all, if you looked at preseason, they only allowed the kid like dinks and dunks. Like if that happens in the real world in a regular season game, and especially with the tough schedule coming up, they're going to ruin this kid for life. And last thing is, Daboll is no quarterback whisperer. He failed to resurrect Jones or even help Jones very much, right? That deteriorated. DeVito was a project. That didn't go anywhere, and now he's somewhere else. And now you're going to hand him Dart. I mean, I don't get it. It's crazy. So,
well, Stan, thank you so much for the phone call. Listen, I'll put it this way. Josh Allen's made a lot of people a lot of money. Brian Daboll is one of them. Although Daboll did also have a nice college career as well as a coach.
So Joe Shane.
I got to be honest, like Brian, the current OC is probably having his second best quarterback coach connection. It's Joe Brady, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Because he was the god with Burrow in college.
Yeah, and then he was where? North Carolina, or the Charlotte.
Yeah, it didn't work
Carolina
out.
Panthers. I don't know why it took me forever to get to that. Didn't work out as well. They all got fired with Matt Rule.
Gobble, gobble, go.
Yeah, Jameis is on this roster. Doesn't make
By
a
the
lot of
way,
sense.
I was with Stan until he said Daboll failed to develop Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah, that was a tough take.
Although, yeah, I mean, DeVito's
not wrong, but I mean, could anybody develop Tommy Cutlets?
Actually, Tommy Cutlets not bad. He's not he looks like he's got a good arm. I think he's a backup quarterback level player.
The Progressive commercial is like one of the best. What a great highlight.
By the way,
I'm watching it 100 times a night.
I know a lot of phone calls sitting here, but I have some research on how dome teams have done over the Super Bowl era.
Oh, yes.
You want to hold it until after the break?
I mean, listen, if you're in your cars and sorry, you're going to have to wait 5 minutes to get this tidbit.
This is
you're going to be late to
too
work.
good.
Call your boss because the numbers have arrived.
Do not move. Perloff's research comes your way next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, the Defensive Player of the Week is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. EJ picks the Defensive Player of the Week every week. I would assume week one NFL, we might go NFL. I have a guess. Maggie, I'm sure you have a guess too.
Yeah.
I will go with Myles Garrett because of that one video that we were all watching where he stunts around the middle and chases down Joe Burrow, and it's just absolutely terrifying. So I will go 2 sacks, Myles Garrett. I had some other big, I think he had some TFLs as well. So Browns former Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett's my choice. Mag?
Oh, man, I'm trying to read EJ's mind here. I actually think EJ went college. USF pulling off the upset of Florida because EJ hates Florida because he's a Miami Hurricanes fan.
That is a fact.
Ipso facto, somebody from the USF Bulls.
Wow.
The Bills make me want to shout.
Oh.
Go Bills.
High formation here from Baltimore. Jaxson under center. Going to hand it off to Henry. And he's bottled up. The ball is out. It's loose. Who's got the football? It's Buffalo ball. At
words make me wanna.
Not Terrell Bernard, but he's basically the only guy who played any defense in this game. But I'm going to shout him out anyway. Ed Oliver is the defensive player of the week.
Go Bills.
He had a sack. He had that forced fumble, which turned around the entire game. And I'm not kidding. Like, it really felt like he was the only guy making any plays for either team. I mean, he really was a difference maker. And I think maybe he's starting to come into his own. He was a big recruit out coming to Houston. Now in the NFL, first-round pick, starting to become a real star. Ed Oliver, defensive player of the week.
You guys are total idiots.
Not Jalen Ramsey?
Come on now.
Ed Oliver got paid,
you can't
too.
play 59 minutes and make 2 plays and then be defensive player of the week. Sorry.
So, well, EJ, I can't complain with that. I did not think you'd go to a game where 81 combined points were scored for your defensive player.
500 yards.
That was it was the key point of the game, key turnover in the game.
I mean, I thought Ed Oliver was great, but like that game,
it's the player, not the game. He's the
That is
defensive
true.
player.
he's definitely
Fair.
not the defensive player of the week. But wait until the awards come out. They are not going to pick the Bills or the Ravens. They will get both offensive player. Well, actually, they're both one per conference, right? So you can't give them both. But
Should have been Jalen Carter, right, man?
by the way, you know who I think is the most impressive defensive. I gotta tell you, I'm obsessed. I want the
Brian
Eagles to trade
Burns.
for Brian Burns so bad.
Oh, yeah,
that
he
guy
looked
is a
great.
star.
How do you want every great? How many good guys do you need?
Well, now they're desperate. Like they tried out Mike Hilton at cornerback. Like they are so desperate right now. Their defense is in bad shape, and nobody except me in this entire planet cares about that.
Well, because you guys are the reigning Super Bowl champs, so we
Yeah.
really can't get up the,
want me to cry for you,
excitement.
Pearl?
Yeah.
They just became the 9th team in a row to sign Zadarius Smith, hoping that he still has something left in the tank.
You want Brian Burns?
Yeah, huh.
You want Brian Burns for the Eagles? Give us the next 20 first-round draft picks. He's yours.
Done.
Okay.
I don't think that's Howie Roseman's
Yes.
analytics philosophy.
Well, he did offer-
20 first round
Wasn't it
picks.
2 hours ago that Perloff was like, I could have been an NFL GM?
Yeah. By hiring felons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key.
I did draft Justin Fields on my fantasy football team.
Is he a felon?
And he was sitting on my bench as he scored all those points on Sunday.
It's too much of an upstanding citizen
He
for
wants to
your
be
team.
a GM of an NFL team. He can't even general manage a fantasy team.
Hey, listen,
Oh.
it was Justin Fields, man. I'm not a miracle worker here. Like, I knew he was going to go off against the Steelers.
By the
Apparently
way,
Aaron Glenn is.
see you guys on the phone to get to you in a moment, but we do have an update on Perloff with the Survivor Pool. Our Survivor Pool, you're still alive, but you were talking on the air about the Survivor Pool that your friend wanted you to pay $500 for
Yeah.
that you didn't realize was $500. What's the latest?
Oh, I think I said this yesterday on the air, didn't I? That I got out of it. Was that off air?
It was off air.
So
Tell us on the air.
My friend, what did I do? I have a betting fantasy partner, and he's in this, I think it's like $40,000 or something, Survivor Pool,
Good
and he has
Lord.
31 teams, and he said, like, all right, well, you owe 500 this year. I owe 500 for what? And he's like, you're in the pool. I'm like, I'm not paying $500 for this. Not right now. I lost. I like to lose in smaller chunks.
Yeah, week by week increments.
So he put all 31 teams on the Broncos last week, and that was scary time.
Wow. I
but
mean,
they
there
won.
was no way that the Titans were actually going to win that game, but it was just too close for comfort.
Yeah. By the way, I never paid off the dome teams. There's also research the Broncos have a massive home field advantage early in the season because of the altitude.
Yeah.
So
you were talking about dome teams because Kevin Warren, the president of the Bears, sent out a letter to season ticket holders. Arlington Park is a go, and it's going to have a dome, and you have a big problem with the Chicago Bears playing in a dome stadium.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so much anecdotal and statistical evidence that cold weather teams have an advantage in the playoffs if the game is in cold weather, obviously. If they play warm weather teams. 4 dome teams have won the Super Bowl, and 3 of them, according to my research, unless I'm missing anyone who's more recent, 3 of them did not have to go outdoors at all in the playoffs. The only team that did go outdoors in the playoffs was the 2006 Colts, and they beat Rex Grossman and the Bears. So that's like asterisk. Like, I mean, we could organize a group of 18 other people and beat the Bears.
They beat the Patriots to get there.
Here he is with the GM.
I feel like Lance Briggs is about to walk through the door, and I don't want to point at Perloff.
I saw, as of a few years ago, the Saints, Vikings, and I believe the Rams have a horrible winning percentage when they go outdoors. Like, it's hard for these dome teams to play all year in a dome. And then if they get brought into deep water in KC or New England, the stats have not been good, which makes perfect logical sense.
You know, you clown that Bears team with Rex Grossman that made the Super Bowl, but remember that actual game? Wasn't it a torrential downpour in that game? Like that.
All I remember is Prince.
Yeah, and he was performing in the rain. Remember?
Yeah.
That should have been advantage Bears, no?
I mean, that Bears team had no chance. They were a one-man gang. If Devin Hester didn't return every punt and kickoff for a touchdown, then there's no way. Or Mike Brown got a safety. Like, that team was a special teams defense. That was not a good Super Bowl team. In fact, I'll bet you if you look at lists of worst Super Bowl teams ever, that's got to be high up on there or low up on there. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of course, the cold weather teams have an advantage. So if you're Chicago, it's part of your identity, though. You get soft if you go indoors.
Their identity, they're just trying to make the playoffs again, I think. I mean, they want a 4,000-yard passer or, heaven forbid, a 5,000-yard passer, then, yeah, the dome's got to be where it's at. I commend them for doing this.
Listen, it's only 300 miles away in Lambeau. Guys are winning MVPs. You're telling me you can't, you have to go indoors to beat Eric Kramer's single-season record of 3,800 yards? That's ridiculous. And also, I don't love that it's in the suburbs. I'm just going to be honest. Why do you have to go to Arlington Heights?
That's like local politics stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't want the stadium out there, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going on. Right. I don't know
You're
all
like
the
wishing
information.
pie in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I just think that where that stadium is, the scenics are beautiful. I don't know. I'm definitely, and also I don't love that the Vikings, what have the Vikings won since they moved indoors?
Well, the Vikings have one of the most tortured playoff histories imaginable.
You could have just said, what did they win outdoors?
That's true. That too.
1 year in recent history, they were outdoors. Yeah. Remember, Blair Walsh missed a field goal that was 2 feet away, 100 yards out of the
Minnesota
stadium.
Vikings should be hard-nosed Vikings, Norse gods. They should play for cold weather. So when the playoffs start, they bring in the LA Rams, and the Rams are like, oh, no, it's too cold. We don't want to go out here. And then they lose. They get killed. That's what Minnesota should do.
Counterpoint, Randy Moss is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Counterpoint. Thank God for
So
that
is Chris
season.
Carter.
Counterpoint, come playoff time, we see what the Vikings do.
How about they just put Randy Moss on the Manning cast for every single Vikings game?
It never even occurred to me that you should play like your mascot.
Yeah, well.
They should play like Vikings?
Skull.
No, it's not. It's the whole area, like Minnesota. You should play like you are a cold weather team in Minnesota. That would be a huge home field advantage.
They should take a page out of the Twins playbook. They play outdoors.
Don't say that.
See, I'll be honest. I don't think it would be an advantage for them. It is so ridiculously cold and snow. It snows basically every day in Minnesota after November. I think that they'd be a terrible team.
No. They'd be great. They should revamp their team, stop all this fancy passing, which actually they did last night. Those linemen, it should be minus 10 degrees, and your linemen are wearing short sleeves, and bring in the other team and just watch them melt.
What happened to this country?
Yeah, I mean, seriously. What happened to football? You got to go indoors. It's not a video game, guys. This is actual men playing a man's sport.
I just had a vision of somehow Manny just catapulting to the top of the radio industry by coming on every show and just being like, what has America come to? And all of a sudden, just you see the ratings just going up and to the right. Well done, sir.
Yeah, you guys, if you want to transition to conservative talk radio and start, listen,
have Rodriguez
Daddy needs an addition to his house.
You need a house, Daddy.
Perloff will be able to fund. He'll be able to fund the Bears' new stadium in Chicago with an open air.
Maybe for once I'd stop renting and actually own something.
I mean, what has this country come to? Cha-ching.
I say that every day.
Bogusch has the latest and greatest. What's up?
These headlines are sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com.
I am not.
Ben Johnson is 0 for 1 as a head coach, despite a 17-6 third quarter lead on the Vikings at home outside last night.
Have a 17-6 lead and then see it go the way it did there in the fourth quarter. We said going into week one that the team that would make the least number of mistakes would win the game, and unfortunately we were on the wrong side of that. We made too many there late in the game. Myself included.
His defense allowed 21 fourth quarter points to J.J. McCarthy in his first career start. His offense didn't score its second touchdown until there's 2 minutes left in the game, and his team committed 12 penalties for 127 yards. That 17-6 lead became a 27-24 loss. This is the Bears' fourth loss over the last 4 seasons. Despite a double-digit fourth quarter lead, no other team has more than 2. For the
Wait, are we sure that, so if a team has a lot of penalties, that's on the coach? Is that what we're saying?
Depends what kind of penalties they are.
Because I watched that Chargers-Chiefs game, and Jawan Taylor himself had 12 penalties.
Well,
like,
he's
is that
a
on
walking false start.
So is that on Andy Reid? The Chiefs were false starting like crazy.
No, it's about the delay of games and the procedural stuff, I think, that generally comes back on the coach.
Oh,
I mean, 2 young quarterbacks last night, so maybe it's forgivable.
Also, Jawan Taylor, not to even defend him, but like they almost never call that on him. He always false starts, and now they just started. I mean, good to start calling it, but I almost don't blame him or Andy Reid.
Oh, I remember a few years ago there was an opening game where Jawan Taylor must have drawn 6 flags in a game. I don't even think that was the most flags he's ever gotten. But it is a similar problem. Like they don't know. Like there's something going wrong at the line with KC. Maybe it was something Brazil. I don't even know. But they had a million
samba music is coming.
Yeah. The halftime show that hemisphere.
Oh, Carol G. Well, Carol G.
Yeah. Carol G could have caused some procedural issues.
Jeez, I saw her. I was like, "Cats!" I've never seen a woman.
Oh, you guys just met Carol G, huh?
She's got the pineapples on the tatas. I was like, that is tough to pull off.
I've been a fan of Carol G since I was 17 years old.
I bet you have.
Oh, the old
Does she have a famous athlete boyfriend?
Not yet.
She will when she meets Manny Tires.
Damn right.
I was about to say half the Chargers and Chiefs are probably in her DMs after that.
Except for Justin Herbert.
And Travis Kelce.
Nah, who cares about him?
And I would hope Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick, get in her DMs, bro.
Oh, you're taking a shot at Brittany?
Yeah, darn tootin'.
All right, back to the Vikings. They're 1-0 with McCarthy under center. His night included a pick 6 and just 143 passing yards, but the fourth quarter rallies the story. Here's his head coach, Kevin O'Connell.
I told him at halftime, you are going to bring us back to win this game, and the look in his eye was fantastic, and the best thing is just the belief I felt from the team, the unit, and ultimately that doesn't get done without him in the second half.
McCarthy is the first QB since 1950 with a double-digit fourth quarter comeback on the road in his debut. Pro Football Talk says a suspension for that spitter, Jalen Carter, is still possible. Any punishment is currently being finalized. Brian Callahan is lucky to be the head coach of the Titans. He made a huge mistake in Sunday's loss in Denver, and if he coached a team that more people cared about, Rex Ryan would be mocking him on TV. Callahan did not challenge a play where his receiver was ruled out of bounds on a catch, but replay showed his elbow got down before any body part was out of bounds. This was Callahan's post-game explanation.
You got to get a foot in bounds, too. Which we didn't have a clean look at whether his foot was down as well. An elbow doesn't equal 2 feet, so his foot would have had to come down as well. We didn't have a clean look, so the call from upstairs was that it wasn't worth challenging.
I'm pretty sure all of us know that one elbow does equal 2 feet. Any non-hand, one of those is good instead of the 2 feet on a sideline play in the end zone. So he doesn't know the rules, although yesterday he told us, while taking responsibility for this, that he did know the rule, but he didn't. And no one... I guess the bigger thing is, and friend of the show, Amy Trask, pointed this out on Twitter.
Can you put a sensor in a butt cheek?
Where were the people whose job this is in the headsets to say you have to challenge this? Does this mean that people are afraid to overrule him, so to speak?
Oh, I mean, that's from Amy. I wouldn't have even thought of that, but if she's saying it, then obviously she's got the internal knowledge of being the former front office for the Raiders. I guess two things. One, you don't think Coach's son would ever not have the rule book under lock and key. We all know the butt cheek thing. So the butt cheek begets the elbow.
Can you put a sensor in a butt cheek?
Butt cheek equals 2 feet. We all know that one. And something's up with the challenges because I even thought Ben Johnson last night. I thought that was a ridiculous challenge on the TJ Hawkinson catch that he clearly caught and was down, and then the ball came out and he challenged it anyway, and he burned a timeout in the second half in a one-score game.
Yeah, challenges come from up top. The coaches can't see. They're on the sideline. You think Brian Callahan could see what was down and what wasn't?
Yeah, but so the guy, whoever he has in that booth is what Bogusch is saying, he didn't know and also doesn't know the rule book.
And he'd sound like he didn't know the rule book because then he repeated, if it was from the guy upstairs, he repeated a rule that doesn't exist.
Well, I got to be honest, that's a hard job too, because you're also dependent on getting the camera angles there too, which is really, to me, it's so weird because I think they get, and correct me if I'm wrong, they have to wait on the broadcast, the guys in the truck, to put up the different feeds. So it's hard. I mean, you guys think it's easy. There was a play last night.
No, I don't think it's easy. I think it just needs to run better than it did for the Titans.
Yeah, that was a mistake. But last night there was a play where Roma Dunze like his elbow and his foot hit it literally within a millisecond. And like they moved really fast and the TV was way far behind. They'd already snapped the ball by the time that they really had a time to decide if they wanted to throw a challenge
I'm
flag.
still not sure if he caught that pass. I know exactly the play you're talking about.
Yeah.
I was
Everyone on the internet,
did the elbow get down before he got out of bounds? I couldn't tell.
I thought there's supposed to be eye in the sky on this stuff because there was also a catch in the Bills-Ravens game, a Ravens player that was not a catch. And I thought and Sean McDermott didn't challenge it, and I thought it was supposed to be like, isn't there supposed to be some big brother thing watching?
Well, replay assist,
Yeah.
but they don't have a sky. But it takes a long time to figure out if it was a catch. You got to look at 5 different angles because what's hitting where and where's the. And by the way, have we seen a lot of the short animations?
The Hawkeye you're talking about?
Yeah.
No. I think we saw it in the preseason.
We saw it in one game.
And they said this is the very first one. We haven't had this one yet. Now I can't remember what game it was.
I don't remember what it was either because they didn't have a Thursday nor Friday night. And I remember watching Red Zone and they mentioned it.
Yeah, I remember they were talking about it.
It was in the early window. I remember that much.
That's right. It was Hansen explaining, here's the first one because we haven't had one yet.
I was going to say one thing about Brian Callahan. You know, his dad is one of the most famous offensive line coaches of all time, Bill Callahan. I want my coach, if like he's such an offensive line mentality, he doesn't even know what a catch is. But then I looked it up. He played quarterback in college, so
Also,
UCLA. So he should know what a catch
Where's
is.
dad on the elbow equals 2 feet?
His dad's on the staff, isn't he?
Yeah,
his dad knows. Are you kidding me? His dad knows how to pass block. He doesn't know what a catch is. That's like Bill Callahan.
He knows what a false start is.
He used to be a play caller.
He coached a team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he called plays for them.
Sort of. That team was sort of in the Super Bowl.
Sort of.
Well, fair.
Oh, Barry Robbins.
That was
didn't show up.
You guys, by the way, the Bill Callahan Raiders team. I was at that Super Bowl. That was not good. that was a mess.
I was in Queens, New York. It didn't look good from here either.
Yeah. And do you remember the Nebraska years? Not good either.
He was terrible there.
I think they know the rule book, though.
Well,
or you pay a guy to know the rule book. So again, either
it's
they're
possible
all dopes.
a lot of things went wrong. Maybe they didn't see the elbow was down or something.
But that's not what he said. He said elbow didn't. You got to get a foot in too. He knew the elbow was in, and they thought you needed a foot as well.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Also, just the logistics of getting an elbow and a foot.
Right,
Kinda
it's
like
not
a game of Twister.
Yeah, they didn't get the actual analysis in time, and then he was just at the press conference and he didn't know what he was saying. That's clear that he didn't know what he was saying.
Well, I mean, but
that part
except
isn't arguable.
He literally says.
I know.
We couldn't see if there was a foot, which means they were looking for a foot, which means that they didn't know the rule because his elbow being down was good enough.
Callahan is.
Good luck to you, Cam Ward.
I'm
By the
not
way,
feeling good about my guy.
Just everything about that offense was a mess. The run game looked like garbage.
Receivers
Calvin
can't
Ridley.
catch the ball, can't get open.
Well, I mean, Calvin Ridley, to be fair, probably has some action on that one. One way or other.
Like the parlay
When you
was
talked about that $500,
kidding.
you talked about that
You dubbed
$500 buy-in. I'm like, there's definitely an NFL player that's linked into that somehow.
A $500 survivor pool.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. 888-710-4ISN. Bogusch, thank you. See you guys on the phones. We will get to you. Also, we got to start having a serious conversation about the Chiefs. What's going on? MVP.
Those are big waffles.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. This is Carol G. She was the halftime performer Friday night in Brazil. Definitely one of the highlights of the game. Again, it is hard to pull off a pineapple bra, and she was doing it with ease.
Manny seal of improvement.
Yeah, Manny's giving it 2 thumbs up. Fine holiday fun.
Are you saying that from experience, Maggie?
Oh, God, no. No. Not going to be catching me dead in a fruit bra. But Dominic is in San Francisco. What's up, Dom?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. Caleb Williams, don't you think a little overrated? I mean, big arm, quick feet, not really much else. J.J. McCarthy looked like somebody that really wanted to win the game. Caleb Williams wanted to be entertaining.
Ouch.
And that stream from Sao Paulo was awesome. I wish YouTube had broadcast every game.
Are you being sarcastic or are you serious?
No, I'm being serious as a heart attack. With all due respect to heart attacks, I mean, it was just very, very well done.
Yeah, Dom, I mean, it looked pretty good to me. I'm trying to think, when did I have any buffering issues? I did have some buffering issues, actually, towards the end of that game. But I think it's a close game, and a lot of people
A lot of
tuning in.
viewers on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, YouTube did a good job. That was certainly a fun game. Although the game itself was a little sloppy.
Do we need to have a conversation about the Chiefs? And maybe this
Yeah.
is a bigger one. Listen, I felt like a little bit for the Chargers. It felt a little like their Super Bowl, which I hope it wasn't. But Jim Harbaugh was like, this date is going to live forever in Chargers lore because we finally beat the Chiefs. And I get it. It's a division opponent, and that's like your first baby steps is if you really want to be a contender, you got to take down some of the teams in your own division. The Chargers had not been able to do that. And then on top of it, Justin Herbert looked great in that game.
Justin Herbert's finally, I mean, I want to say lived up to the hype. He has had great seasons, but he was the better quarterback in the game. But I will say, I'm not panicked about the Chiefs or writing off the Chiefs yet. The Worthy injury, Xavier Worthy got hurt, ran into Travis Kelce. All their plans went awry from the moment. Like, if you have Worthy in that game instead of Hollywood Brown got a bulk of the targets, and he's just not as good as Xavier Worthy or Rashee Rice, and that cost him. But then the Chiefs' offense, did you notice in the third or fourth quarter, bang, all of a sudden they were back. Like, Mahomes figured out, okay, here's where I have to go with the ball. So they went TD field goal in their last 3 drives. They probably could have scored a TD on the last one. Maybe the Chargers were in prevent, could have easily been, but the Chiefs clearly figured some things out in the second half.
Yeah, I just found it a little surprising that they needed that much time to adjust to Xavier Worthy not being in the game.
Well, and Rice isn't there too.
Yeah, but they've known that. And they've known that for a long time. And the fact that it's Mahomes and, whatever you're getting from Kelce,
who
but they
are you
still have
throwing
Hollywood
to?
Brown, they still have tight ends. The fact that Xavier Worthy went out and the whole operation stalled for 2.5 quarters is kind of odd to me.
Well, that was last year too. I mean, stalled. The Chiefs just, I don't know. They were showing to Hollywood Brown, who I'm not the biggest fan of. Juju, Tyquan Thornton looked good. I would stop throwing to Hollywood Brown. He had yak opportunities that he just left on the floor again and again and again.
Big Friendly, got about a minute, sir. Good morning. How are you?
Maggie Malone, the Rams were not afraid of the cold. They were out in preseason with no shirts on. I need more time. Daddy Cool, me and you need to talk. I'm calling tomorrow.
Okay.
I will speak to you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Have a great day.
That's a tease.
Yeah, I was thinking about.
The Rams were out in the cold before that Eagles game. Is that what we're talking about? NFC divisional round?
Yeah, they got blown off the field for the first 49 minutes. And they kind of came back and terrified me.
They kind of came back.
Where the women are.
That was a freaky. I mean, the Eagles thought they had the game won. They didn't think the Rams could move on that field. They probably underestimated Matthew Stafford, but they came away with a W.
I got to get to work. I love you.
Man, I got to be honest. Big Friendly, what a Hall of Fame caller when he told Manny that women need to smell you. Let's never forget that happened.
I've seen women. You want to go where the women are. Be in smelling range. I'm a bottom man. I've seen women.
Be in smelling range.
Manny Wapo.
Man.
Yeah, how's that project going? Where Big Friendly's going to mentor Manny into a beautiful girlfriend, possibly even Carol G.
Carol G's available, maybe. I saw
Manny popping bands. Let me hold something, baby.
I forgot what comedian this was, or a woman saying, "Where are all the men between 25 and 38 or whatever?" She was lamenting. And he's like, "Well, we're at the children's hospital in the morning and then at a puppy dog's."
Damn right we are.
He's like, "It's football season. We're anywhere where there's TVs, alcohol, and chicken wings."
By the way, why do you think Carol G doesn't have a boyfriend? Because Manny offhandedly said it so, and you assume that he'd done all the research?
She could be married to royalty, as far as I know. I didn't even know who she was until that halftime game.
Well, whose fault is that?
Well, apparently, a little quick internet research.
No.
She has a boyfriend who is from, his name is
Go ahead.
F-E-I-D.
Oh, right. She is with Fade. Yes, the Colombian rapper. Yes, of course, she is with Fade. Ah, damn it.
Foiled again, Manny.
Fade.
Yes, Fade. Yeah, he's pretty good. I'll get some Fade songs for tomorrow.
Okay, great. So we got Big Friendly's going to call in tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got Fade tomorrow.
Do Fade or Carol G record, do they sell at Records at America?
Oh, yeah. Maybe not as much as Bad Bunny, but they're popular here.
Great debate tomorrow as well. EJ Stewart, thank you. Manny Rodriguez, Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan, Weedo's Coffee Drinkers, Dynamite today. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're in a 5